Chapter 280. Xiaochen, why do you always play the cards that Beibei needs? Cheng Minjing was very angry. It seemed that Xiaochen was really unlucky. Xiaochen secretly felt it was a little funny. In order not to be exposed, Xiaochen could only use his divine sense to remember the sequence of all the mahjong tiles. Then he knew what Beibei had. In this way, he could play the cards that Jean Beibei wanted. Before, Jean Beibei thought it was an accident. However, after several consecutive games, Xiaochen played whatever she needed. This time, Jean Beibei was a little confused. How did Xiaochen do it? She had hinted before, but now she didn't. How did he play the cards? Is my brother-in-law really a transformer with special abilities? Thinking of this, Jean Beibei was a little excited. This is the god of gamblers. Next time, I will take my brother-in-law to make money. It will be a pity if I don't make use of him. As the game went on, Xiaochen played and Jean Beibei won. At the beginning it was quite fun. However, after Jean Beibei won too many times, it became boring. Therefore the game ended hastily. In the evening, it was almost time for Shen Jingxian to go back. Xiaochen sent Jingxian back. She didn't drive here. Cheng Minjing told Xiaochen. Okay. Xiaochen naturally couldn't refuse. Even if the eldest miss didn't ask, he would have volunteered. On the surface, Shen Jingxian didn't seem to be any different. She had her signature smile on her face, as if she was very kind to everything. After leaving the villa, Shen Jingxian got in the Land Rover and let out a sigh of relief. I suddenly find that disguising is so tiring. Xiaochen, how did you disguise yourself before? How could you disguise yourself for so long? After such a short time, I already feel uneasy. Just get used to it. You won't be in danger even if you don't disguise yourself. But I'm different. There are too many families that want to replace the Xiao family, Xiaochen said as he started the car. Shen Jingxian put down the back of the seat to make herself more comfortable. Yeah, I suddenly feel that you've had a hard time all these years. Not bad. Lie down. Are you going to have sex with me? Xiaochen asked. Go to hell. Shen Jingxian rolled her eyes at Xiaochen. Why don't you say that? Xiaochen, don't say such things. It's not good. Xiaochen imitated Shen Jingxuan's previous tone and said, I don't want to say it. You won't listen if I say it. Shen Jingxian lay on the chair lazily. She paused and said, I think it's good for lovers to talk about these things occasionally. You're a little different. Xiaochen sighed. The more he interacted with a goddess, the less one would be a goddess. How is it different? By the way, I haven't asked you yet. What's going on between you and Jean Beibei? Do you like her? Shen Jingxian suddenly asked. Why do you say that? Xiaochen was slightly stunned. If you don't like her, why did you help her cheat? Minjing doesn't know, but I do. You must have sensed her cards with some kind of perception, Shen Jingxian said. Beibei is just like that. She likes to play, and she calls me her cousin-in-law every day. She wants me to help her cheat, and I can't very well reject her. Xiaochen admitted to cheating. He knew that he couldn't hide it from Shen Jingxian. Cousin-in-law, you're quite happy being a cousin-in-law and sister-in-law. Your relationship. Humph. Shen Jingxian pursed her lips and said, You must like her. You like her. Xiaochen didn't know what to say. It turned out that goddess Shen, who had always been kind, could also be unreasonable. It seemed that in many situations, women would change from their original appearance when they were familiar with you. Hey, why aren't you talking? I'm joking with you. Shen Jingxian saw that Xiaochen was silent and thought he was angry. She didn't know when she started to care about Xiaochen's emotions. I know. It's useless for me to explain. Anyway, you know what kind of person I am. Xiaochen said with a bitter smile. It seemed that his previous image was too deep-rooted. Well, don't contact me or send me messages normally. I'm afraid my family and Chen Jinping will see it, Shen Jingxian reminded him. Okay. Xiaochen nodded. Shen Jingxuan's house was in front. Xiaochen stopped the car by the roadside and turned to look at Shen Jingxian. What? Why did you stop? Shen Jingxian asked. Nothing. I'm just a little reluctant. It doesn't feel real, said Xiaochen. Shen Jingxian took the initiative to hold Xiaochen's hand. Me too. It feels like everything is too sudden. I'm not mentally prepared yet. 2 weekends had completely changed the trajectory of Shen Jingxuan's life. In the past, she had never dreamed that she would be with Xiao Chun. They were completely different people. But now it was so natural for them to be together. Xiao Chun silently started the car and drove in the direction of the Shin family. The car stopped at the door of the Shin family. Xiao Chun didn't say anything more. Although there was a trace of reluctance in his eyes, he still said, "Goodbye." N. Shin Jingxian was also a little reluctant in her heart. She didn't know when she would see Xiao Chun again. Of course, as long as Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping dealt with Xiao Chun, then they would have a chance to see each other. However, on the one hand, Shin Jingxian wanted to see Xiao Chun. On the other hand, she didn't want Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping to deal with Xiao Chun. If they looked for Xiao Chun, it meant that they had come up with a conspiracy to deal with Xiao Chun again. Xiao Chun started the car. Just like last time, it drifted beautifully and drove away from the Shin family's courtyard. Shin Jingxian reluctantly watched Xiao Chun's car leave inside. "Xianxian, did Jinping send you back? Why are you so early today?" Shin Jinghao heard the sound of the car in the courtyard and walked out of the villa. He saw his daughter standing at the door of the courtyard and watching a car leave. He was a little surprised that Shin Jingxian came back a little early today. "Oh no." Shin Jingxian shook her head and said unhappily, "Minjing sent Xiao Chun to send me back." The car last time could be said to be Chung Minjing's car. But this time Xiao Chun drove Li Shaniying's Land Rover. It didn't look like Chung Minjing's car, so she could only say that it was Xiao Chun's car. "Xiao Chun? Why is it him?" Shin Jinghao was a little puzzled. "Didn't you go out with Jinping?" "I went out to play before, and then I went to Minjing's house." Shin Jingxian said. "Oh, that's Xiao Chun. Where did his car come from?" Shin Jinghao was a little puzzled. Xiao Chun should be very poor. To be honest, he didn't pay attention to Xiao Chun. As long as he paid attention to Xiao Chun, he would understand that Xiao Chun had a lot of cars. Chen Jinping gave it to him. Shin Jingxian said and didn't say anything about Li Shaniying. Chen Jinping? Shin Jinghao was even more puzzled. Didn't Chen Jinping and him fall out long ago? Why did he still give him a car? I don't know. He gave him a few cars. Xiao Chun also gave him a car, but it was a very ordinary Volkswagen. Shin Jingxian said. It's really strange. Shin Jinghao shook his head. He didn't understand what Chen Jinping was thinking, but he didn't care about him. He just said, Xianxian, how are you getting along with Jinping recently? I mentioned the purchase of medicinal herbs to Chen Huanling, but he hesitated and didn't give a clear answer. He just said that he had asked the shopkeeper of the warrior market, Ji Mucheng, for other things before, so it wasn't good to keep asking him. Shin Jinghao felt that this was just an excuse. There was no progress on Shin Jingxian and Chen Jinping's side. They were only engaged verbally, and they didn't hold an engagement ceremony. To be honest, this kind of verbal thing was invalid. Only a real engagement counted. Big families were all superficial. A verbal engagement could be torn up at will, but a real engagement and a banquet couldn't be easily broken off. It would be a slap in the face. No, this person is stupid. Shin Jingxian shook her head. Did Grandpa say when second great-grandfather will come out of seclusion? What medicinal herbs do you need? This hasn't been said yet. But if it's fast, it'll be in a few months. If it's slow, it'll be in spring next year. So we have to hurry up here. We can't let other families get ahead of us. Shen Jinghao said. These young talents in Songning City are really a bit weak, but we can't find a marriage partner for you across the district. That's tantamount to stepping into someone else's territory. No matter how I look at it, only Chen Jinping from the Chen family is okay. Well, I'll see. Shin Jingxian was a little silent. Then she said, Dad, what if I don't find a son from an aristocratic family, and find another, such as a powerful individual cultivator? An individual cultivator? Shin Jinghao was slightly stunned after listening. Then he smiled bitterly and said, In theory, it's not impossible. If your brother gives up the competition, it'll be fine as long as the person you marry is a warrior. The other Shin family won't interfere too much. But your brother's situation, do you think the strength of an individual cultivator can be stronger than a family? Moreover, Chen Huanling can order some medicinal herbs from the warrior's market square. Can an individual cultivator do the same? This Shen Jingxian sighed. It was indeed like this. Well, don't think so much. Since I've chosen to support Jingmao, then we father and daughter can only keep going. Shen Jinghao was a little helpless, but he thought that Shen Jingxian was just in conflict with Chen Jinping's engagement. So she would rather find an individual cultivator than marry Chen Jinping. Well, Shen Jingxian thought of her brother and Xiaochen. He can definitely change, right? I believe he can. On the way back, Xiaochen's cell phone suddenly rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Zhang Tianhao, whom he hadn't contacted for a long time. Seeing his phone number, Xiaochen's heart immediately sank. Xiaochen had been guarding against Old Witch of Shishan, trying to delay as long as he could. He also wanted to break through to the 5th level of the refinement stage. But now, he was still at the peak of the 4th level. Even if he went all out, he was only equivalent to a warrior at the 5th level of the inner force. At best, he was at the peak of the 5th level, which made it difficult for him to face Old Witch of Shishan, a 6th level evil cultivator. Chapter 281. However, he hadn't broken through until now. Xiao Chen's intuition told him that Zhang Tianhao's call wasn't a good thing. Sure enough, after Xiao Chen picked up the phone, Zhang Tianhao said hurriedly, Mr. White Fox, Shishan Old Witch saw that you haven't contacted me for a long time. So he's a little impatient. He has personally gone to Songning City to look for you. What? When did this happen? Xiao Chen was slightly shocked. Shishan Old Witch is here? This morning, but I just got the news, so I quickly contacted you. Zhang Tianhao said. Shishan Old Witch went in a rage. Mr. White Fox, if you are not sure, you should hide for a while. Hide? Xiao Chen couldn't help but smile bitterly. How could he hide? He couldn't leave Songning City at all. At present, Xiao Chen's identity was Cheng Minjing's servant. How could he go out? Wouldn't it be suspicious if he went out? Shishan Old Witch can find me? Mr. White Fox. Although this Shishan Old Witch is from Jianghu, he doesn't know nothing about modern technology. He should be able to find you based on your mobile phone's signal location. So, I'm calling to remind you to turn off your phone first. Zhang Tianhao said. Oh, this Shishan Old Witch is quite modern? Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. But then Xiao Chen was shocked, and he suddenly stepped on the brakes. Because not far from his car, there was a person with long hair. And it was a man. This person was wearing an ancient robe, and there was an indescribable demonic aura on him. This made Xiao Chen's heart sink. If he guessed correctly, this person should be Shishan Old Witch, a 6th-layer evil cultivator. Xiao Chen knew that even if he crashed into him with his car, the other party could easily dodge it. So he didn't bother with that pointless effort, and stopped the car with a screech. Mr. White Fox, what happened on your side? Zhang Tianhao was slightly stunned when he heard the harsh breaking sound. It's nothing. It should be old demon Shishan. I'll talk to you later. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and hung up the phone. Different situations call for different measures. Since he had encountered them, Xiao Chen had no way to escape. He could only try to fight. Jia, you are the White Fox, right? The long-haired man in the ancient robe looked at Xiao Chen and smiled evilly. I knew that Zhang Tianhao would call you and inform you. However, that was a flaw that I purposely revealed. My purpose was to make him call you. If you hadn't answered his call, I wouldn't have been able to find you so quickly. 50,000 yuan was not spent in vain. But I don't need it anymore. The long-haired man threw something in his hand onto the ground and walked towards Xiao Chen. Old demon Shishan? Xiao Chen asked. Not bad. Looks like you're nothing special. My disciple actually died in your hands. What a pity, hee. Old demon Shishan sneered. However, you're going to die soon. Which sect are you from? Tell me. There's no need. Are you going to leave after I tell you? Xiao Chen asked lightly. No matter which sect you're from, you're going to die today. I, old demon Shishan, have never been afraid of anyone. Old demon Shishan laughed and suddenly moved. With a black mist surrounding him, he suddenly attacked Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen's heart tightened slightly. He quickly dodged backward and prepared to dodge. Old demon Shishan's speed was very fast, but with the speed of a level 4 refinement stage cultivator, Xiao Chen could completely deal with him. This was the difference between a cultivator and a warrior. However, Xiao Chen barely dodged it. He was almost swept away by the black mist on old demon Shishan's hand. However, even if he didn't get swept away, the remaining power still made Xiao Chen's face burn with pain. This black mist seemed to have a corrosive effect. Your reaction is quite fast. Old demon Shishan snorted coldly. But it's useless. I'm just testing you. I didn't use my full strength. This time you're dead. Death devour. As he spoke, old demon Shishan's aura suddenly strengthened. The black aura seemed to have become even thicker. Xiao Chen could even smell the smell of something rotting, like a rotting corpse. Could it be that old demon Shishan used dead people to cultivate? Otherwise, why would the black mist smell and feel like this? However, Xiao Chen didn't have time to think about it. Old demon Shishan had already opened his palms and rushed towards Xiao Chen like a bat. Xiao Chen subconsciously dodged quickly. F***CK. It's really difficult for me to deal with this kind of evil cultivator. Last time, he had Yi Xiaoya's help, and Xiao Chen's sneak attack also played a large role. But now, Xiao Chen only had himself to face the stronger old demon Shishan. It would be strange if Xiao Chen could relax. However, this was not the way to go. Old demon Shishan was getting stronger and stronger. Xiao Chen could only dodge. This time he dodged but he failed. Xiao Chen only felt that his shoulder was swept by the black mist. In an instant, the clothes on Xiao Chen's shoulder were gone, and his body was a bloody mess. The toxicity of this black mist was simply too strong. Xiao Chen even suspected that if he didn't dodge, he would be burned to bones by the black mist. Xiao Chen stared at old demon Shishan vigilantly. At the same time, he circulated the mantra and used his Yuan Qi to quickly heal his injuries. In his heart, he thought to Elder Heaven Ancestor, Elder Heaven Ancestor, what should I do now? This guy is stronger than me by 2 levels. Moreover, I can feel that the evil cultivator's strength is higher than that of a normal warrior. He is comparable to a cultivator. Compared to a cultivator? That's far from it. Elder Heaven Ancestor snorted and said, but now your strength is indeed too weak. His black mist is actually corroding some of your flesh and blood. You use your full strength to circulate the mantra and hit him. Let me see how much damage you can cause. Then, I will judge whether you have a chance of winning. I'm testing the danger with my own body. Xiao Chen couldn't help but be speechless. At this moment, old demon Shishan launched another attack and rushed towards Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen also discovered that old demon Shishan didn't need to use any fancy moves. Just this dark devour was enough to make Xiao Chen suffer. This time Xiao Chen didn't dodge. Instead, he used all his strength to circulate the mantra, and then punched with all his strength to meet old demon Shishan's attack. Old demon Shishan was stunned. He didn't expect Xiao Chen to meet the attack head-on. In this way, didn't he completely use the black mist to cover Xiao Chen? As for Xiao Chen's punch, he didn't care about it. Through his previous investigation, this white fox was only a level 5 inner force warrior. There was a difference in strength between them. Boom! Xiao Chen's fist hit old demon Shishan's body. At the same time, old demon Shishan's black mist completely enveloped Xiao Chen. At this moment, Xiao Chen felt like he was in a sea of fire. His whole body felt like it was burning. The heart-wrenching pain felt like Xiao Chen's skin was being torn off. However, Xiao Chen didn't care. Anyway, cultivators could quickly recover from their injuries, so he didn't care. Old demon Shishan flew out. He looked at Xiao Chen in disbelief. He didn't understand how Xiao Chen could still use his inner force under the cover of the black mist. This was impossible. A warrior couldn't use their inner force under his dark devour. This was because the black mist had corroded and damaged the warrior's skin and muscles. They couldn't use their inner force at all. A Mormon disciple. Old demon Shishan was shocked when he saw that Xiao Chen's injuries weren't serious, and that he had a self-recovery effect. So White Fox was a demon sect disciple. As expected, the rumors were true. Xiao Chen's heavy blow had caused the blood in old demon Shishan's body to churn. He didn't expect Xiao Chen to be able to use such a huge force under his dark devour. He wasn't prepared at all, so this punch caused his internal organs to shift, causing him to suffer injuries that weren't light or heavy. Good. Very good. Old demon Shishan sneered. Hee, you actually injured me. It's not easy, but my temper has come. Just wait for your death. After saying that, The black gas on old witch Shishan's body became denser and more intense. A dazzling red light flashed around him. And then, a ball of light formed by black gas suddenly appeared in his palm. The inside was black gas, and the outside was dazzling red light. It was much stronger than the black ball of the evil cultivator's disciple. Old demon Shishan flipped his palm, and the black ball of light smashed towards Xiaochun. Xiaochun was shocked. He quickly wanted to dodge, but he didn't expect that this black ball actually had a tracking function. Xiaochun ran, and the black ball followed behind him. When Xiaochun turned, the black ball also turned. This really made Xiaochun speechless. This old demon Shishan didn't do anything. He didn't release any big moves, but he already made it difficult for Xiaochun to move an inch. It seemed that this gap of one level wasn't something that could be easily overcome. However, what Xiaochun didn't know was that although old demon Shishan had the strength of a 6th level evil cultivator, his strength had dropped because he was injured in the past. The martial technique he could use was above the 6th level. Although the effect wasn't as good as his peak strength, it was already very earth-shattering for a martial artist of the same level. This was also the reason why Xiaochun felt that the other party was too powerful. One had to know that in old demon Shishan's peak state, his black ball was enough to kill a martial artist like Xiaochun, who was a level lower than him. The speed of the black ball was getting faster and faster. Finally, Xiaochun couldn't dodge it, and it directly hit Xiaochun's back. Xiaochun's body trembled. A tearing and burning pain spread throughout his body in an instant, causing Xiaochun to shiver. The next moment, he felt that his internal organs were also starting to be burned by this black ball. Xiaochun quickly used the mantra to resist and repair. This black ball contains a lot of black qi. It won't dissipate for a while. Before it dissipates, it will devour your internal organs and body. Elder Heaven Ancestor's urgent voice came into Xiaochun's ears. Chapter 282. Xiaochun was shocked. He hurriedly sat cross-legged on the ground and circulated his mental cultivation method. However, he was extremely anxious in his heart. If old witch Shishan attacked him again at this moment, Xiaochun would really be sent to heaven. Jia, little bastard, you're not dead yet? It seems that I've underestimated you. My disciple's death was not unjust. Old witch Shishan saw that Xiaochun was not killed by his ultimate move. Instead, he was resisting it. He was surprised. But let's see what you'll do next. I wonder if you can resolve this move of mine? After saying that, old witch Shishan stretched out his palm. The black ball in his palm condensed again. When Xiaochun saw this, he almost cried. Damn it, am I going to die here today? I didn't die even after being pushed off the cliff. Am I going to be killed by this old witch Shishan? Go to hell. Old witch Shishan's palm shook. The black ball suddenly smashed towards Xiaochun's chest. Elder Heaven Ancestor. Xiaochun didn't want to die. However, he couldn't move his body. He could only ask the Elder Heaven Ancestor in his heart. At the same time, his mind was quickly thinking about how to resolve this killer move. I can only try. I can't guarantee that I can take it. The Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice was a little solemn. Obviously, he wasn't very confident. After this, I may enter a coma again. When that time comes, I'm not sure when I'll wake up. In the future, you'll have to rely on yourself, Xiaochun. Xiaochun was stunned. He suddenly felt sad. Why did the words of the Elder Heaven Ancestor sound like he was going to the execution ground? However, at this critical moment, a woman's voice suddenly rang out. So it's here. Along with the voice, a black shadow quickly appeared in front of Xiaochun. With a wave of his hand, a bright red ribbon flew towards the black ball that was smashing towards Xiaochun. Boom! With a loud bang, the red ribbon hit the black balloon. The two made a huge explosion in the air, but the red ribbon only trembled a few times, while the black balloon disappeared. What a strong woman! Xiaochun heaved a sigh of relief. He had almost died. Fortunately, this woman had appeared in time. Xiaochun could only see her back. The woman's back was facing him. Xiaochun could only see her exquisite and beautiful figure, but he didn't know what she looked like. Although he didn't see her, he didn't have any impression of this woman in Xiaochun's memory. Whether it was her voice or figure, Xiaochun wasn't familiar with them. From the looks of it, It should be someone he didn't know. Who are you? Old Witch of West Mountain looked at the woman, who had suddenly appeared in front of him with shock and vigilance. Deputy Team Leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team C. The woman in black said lightly. What? Someone from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? You actually discovered me? Old Witch of West Mountain was stunned. He didn't expect the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to be able to discover him. Recently, a fugitive from the Warrior Guild came to Songning City. The higher-ups sent me to investigate. The woman in black was talking about Brother Heifeng. She continued, but just before, I received a report that you appeared in Songning City, so I started to look for evil energy. If you didn't fight with others, I really wouldn't be able to discover you. But I didn't expect you to come here without disguising yourself. You're really arrogant. Damn it, it's you. Old Witch of West Mountain's eyes flashed with a touch of hatred. Good, very good. You're just a warrior who has just advanced to Stage 8 Inner Force. It's not difficult to kill you. Let me kill you first, you meddlesome person. It's useless to say more. Old Witch of West Mountain, you've done all kinds of bad things. At this moment, please accept the punishment of justice. After the woman in black finished speaking, she took the lead and shot out the red ribbon. Her target was Old Witch of West Mountain's glabella. It's just a small trick. Old Witch of West Mountain was very angry. He was obviously on the verge of going berserk. Originally, he came to find White Fox for revenge. Who would have thought that he would be reported? He could even guess that it must have been Zhang Tianhao who reported him. Only he could know about the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and his whereabouts. However, these were secondary. The important thing was that the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau happened to be in Songning City. Otherwise, if it were any other situation, he would have escaped long ago when the people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau arrived. It would have been impossible to bump into them. Bad luck. So he was furious. Old Monster Shishan wasn't careless either. Facing a martial artist of the level of the black-clothed woman, he directly used his strongest move. He opened his mouth, and with a few whooshing sounds, he spat out several black blood swords that went straight towards the black-clothed woman. The woman in black did not dodge. It was as if she did not care about the blood swords at all. Instead, she shot out the red ribbon and intertwined with the black blood swords. Not good. The woman in black's heart sank. She saw that the black blood swords were corroding the ribbon of the woman in black at an amazing speed. The woman in black had to throw away the ribbon in her hand because the blood swords were corroding bit by bit. Soon, they would touch the woman in black's hand. Hee, now do you know how powerful I am? Don't think that you are a Stage 8 Inner Force warrior. When I became famous, you were also a piece of trash. Old Witch of West Mountain sneered and looked at the woman in black proudly. The woman in black dodged and looked at Old Witch of West Mountain coldly. You have some skills. No wonder you haven't been executed after being wanted for so many years. It's too late to know. Go to hell. After destroying the woman in black's red ribbon, Old Witch of West Mountain sneered. Then he shook his palm again. A black balloon jumped out and smashed towards the woman in black. Dodge it. Xiao Chun was shocked. He was very clear about the damage that the black balloon would cause if it exploded on his body. If it hit the woman in black, he was afraid that it would be terrible. It wasn't that Xiao Chun sympathized with her. Xiao Chun didn't even know what she looked like, and it was his first time meeting her. Of course, he wouldn't sympathize with her. The main problem was that she was now Xiao Chun's only hope. If Xiao Chun didn't have this black-clothed woman to help him fight back while he was recuperating here, then he might very well die here today. No, I can't let anything happen to the woman in black. If something happens to her, then Xiao Chun will die. The woman in black's reaction was also fast. However, after losing her weapon, she didn't dare to fight the black balloon head-on. However, the same situation as Xiao Chun previously appeared. She was running in front while the black balloon chased behind her. Although the woman in black's dodging skills were better than Xiao Chun's, she was still tired of dealing with it. You're quite agile. It seems that your skills in bed aren't bad either. Old Witch of West Mountain laughed evilly. He flipped his hand again, and a black balloon shot out from his palm, smashing towards the woman in black. This black balloon was aimed at the woman in black from the front. This time, the two black balloons formed a pincer attack, making it impossible for the woman in black to dodge. Whoosh! The woman in black's qigong made Xiaochen exclaim in admiration. Under such circumstances, she was still able to move her body to the side and avoid the pursuit of the two black balloons. A trace of anxiety flashed in the woman's eyes. Evil cultivators were indeed more difficult to deal with than normal martial cultivators. However, she was alone. She was here to investigate Brother Heifeng and didn't expect to have a combat mission. This was only a temporary mission, so it was difficult for her to deal with it without the support of her companions. However, controlling two black balloons was obviously Old Witch of West Mountain's limit. He didn't activate the third black balloon. Instead, he waved both his hands and directed the two black balloons to chase after the woman in black again. The woman in black could also see that controlling the two black balloons required a lot of physical strength and true qi. Old Witch of West Mountain was also going all out. At this time, if someone could sneak attack Old Witch of West Mountain, it was very likely that Old Witch of West Mountain would go to hell. However, she glanced at Xiaochen, who was healing on the ground. It was obvious that Xiaochen couldn't even protect himself, let alone sneak attack Old Witch of West Mountain. If the sneak attack failed, and Old Witch of West Mountain directed one of the black balloons to blow him up, then this person would be finished. Although in most cases, martial artists were indifferent and the life and death of others had nothing to do with them, Song Huo was different. She was a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. She couldn't harm the lives of ordinary martial artists. If she encountered a martial artist who was injured or in danger, she would also lend a helping hand. This was also the responsibility of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, so she couldn't let Xiaochen be cannon fodder. Song Huo's eyes flashed with anxiety again as she dodged the two black balloons with great difficulty. Although her strength was above Old Witch of West Mountain, Old Witch of West Mountain's moves were extremely powerful, making up for the difference in strength between the two of them. Be careful. Seeing that the two black balloons were about to explode the woman in black into a sandwich, Xiaochen couldn't help but exclaim again. Song Huo was also shocked at this moment. Old Witch of West Mountain was not a kind person. During the process of her dodging, he found the pattern of her dodging. The two black balloons once again turned into a pincer attack, directly attacking her. This time they came from a different position. In other words, she had nowhere to hide. No matter if she went left or right, she would inevitably be swept by one of the black balloons. As long as one black balloon succeeded, the other one would follow. In this way, Song Huo had nowhere to hide. You go and kill him. Xiaochen clenched his teeth and suddenly stood up. He abruptly pressed the woman in black's body down, causing her to lie flat on the ground. Xiaochen, on the other hand, stood at her original position. Next, an amazing scene appeared. The two black balloons exploded towards Xiaochen's body one after another. Boom! With a loud bang, the two black balloons exploded on Xiaochen's body. Xiaochen spat out a mouthful of blood, and his whole body directly collapsed to the ground. Fortunately, Xiaochen had been circulating the Heaven's Stolen Fortune battle art, so he was able to hang on to his last breath and didn't die directly. Chapter 283. After falling to the ground, Xiaochen hurriedly gritted his teeth and continued to circulate the mantra to use his essence energy to heal his injuries. I can't die, I absolutely can't die. I have to hold on, I have to hold on. Song Huo was slightly taken aback when she was pushed by Xiaochen. She never expected that Xiaochen would use such a method to save her and create an opportunity for her to kill Old Demon Shishan. Old Demon Shishan had been controlling two black balloons previously, so his stamina was almost exhausted. It was impossible for him to condense another black balloon in a short period of time. Therefore, taking advantage of this gap, Song Huo flew out and punched Old Demon Shishan's forehead. The *th, you're courting death. Old Demon Shishan was alarmed and wanted to dodge, but he never expected that Song Huo's fist was actually a feint. The real killing move was hidden in Song Huo's right leg. Song Huo's right leg kicked out and directly kicked Old Demon Shishan's lower abdomen. Her beautiful and sturdy calf hooked and spread, sending old demon Shishan flying with a ouch. Dance leg was Song Huao's ultimate move. Just like the red ribbon from before, it was only suitable for melee attacks. Song Huao's moves were very beautiful, as though she was dancing. Xiao Chen had to praise her. This girl's figure and dance moves were really good, but he wondered what she looked like. Song Huao was wearing a mask, so he couldn't see her face clearly. However, Xiao Chen didn't want to know. All he wanted now was to live. Xiao Chen heaved a sigh of relief when he saw old demon Shishan being sent flying with a kick. He circulated his mental cultivation method with all his might, but he felt that his yuan qi was insufficient. The surrounding heaven and earth spiritual energy was just too weak. With the current situation, it was very difficult for him to recover from his injuries. However, he couldn't delay his injuries because the black balloon had yet to be completely dissolved. It was still devouring Xiao Chen's flesh and blood. Xiao Chen had no choice but to constantly circulate the mantra to resist. You broke my ribbon and dared to scold me. You even dared to hit me with a black balloon. I'll stomp you to death. Stomp, 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 stomp. What happened next shocked Xiao Chen. Song Huawu caught up to old goblin Shishan, who was sent flying, and began to stomp on his body crazily. Xiao Chen was speechless. It seemed that he could offend anyone but a woman. This old demon of West Mountain was too unlucky. In the end, he was trampled to death. How painful. Old demon Shishan foamed at the mouth and his eyes bulged, but he couldn't speak. He was obviously very unwilling, but there was nothing he could do. He died with everlasting regret. Xiao Chen did not have the mood to study whether old Fei Shishan had died in pain or not. He only felt that his essence qi and the surrounding heaven and earth spiritual qi were insufficient. The black ball was still devouring. What should he do? Suddenly, Xiao Chen thought of the ancient jade he had won in the race today. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen quickly took out the 2 pieces of ancient jade from his pocket and held them in his palm. In the next moment, a majestic wave of heaven and earth spiritual qi surged from the ancient jade into Xiao Chen's body. The abundant energy made Xiao Chen moan in comfort. It was like a person who was dying of thirst in the desert suddenly had enough drinking water. The mental cultivation method circulated rapidly. Under the resistance of Xiao Chen's powerful essence qi, the black ball instantly turned into nothingness. As for Xiao Chen, his injuries were also rapidly recovering. After Song Huo trampled old goblin Shishan to death, she suddenly remembered that there was a warrior who had helped her block the 2 black balls. Oh my god, I almost forgot about him. Thinking of Xiao Chen, Song Huo hurriedly threw away old goblin Shishan's corpse and turned to run to Xiao Chen. However, when she saw Xiao Chen sitting cross-legged on the ground, she was immediately puzzled. You didn't die? Song Huo's eyes widened. He was hit by 2 black balls, and yet he didn't die. What kind of strength did this guy have? She definitely couldn't do it. However, if Xiao Chen's strength was higher than hers, why was he forced into such a sorry state by old goblin Shishan? He should have killed old goblin Shishan long ago, right? However, after saying that, Song Huo felt that it was inappropriate. It was as if he shouldn't have died, so she quickly asked, "Are you all right?" Xiao Chen was circulating the mental cultivation method with all his strength at the moment. He couldn't speak at all. When he heard Song Huo's question, he just shook his head. "Oh, you took a pill and are healing your injuries, right?" Song Huo thought that Xiao Chen had taken a pill and was trying his best to dissolve it to heal his injuries. Generally speaking, be it a martial cultivator or a demonic cultivator, she had never heard of anyone who could heal themselves unless they took a pill. There were some heretic cultivators who had the ability to heal themselves, but Xiao Chen was obviously not a heretic cultivator. He didn't have any evil aura on him. Moreover, if he was a heretic cultivator, it was impossible for him to fight with old goblin Shishan. Xiao Chen nodded and continued to circulate the mental cultivation method with all his strength. "Then I will help you guard." Song Huo also nodded and then stood beside Xiao Chen. From afar, the sound of footsteps came, which surprised Xiao Chen. Listening to the strength of the footsteps, the people who came should be martial artists. Many of the martial artists in Songning City had heard of or seen Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen didn't want to expose his strength. Who is fighting in front? Why is there an evil aura? I am the inspector of the Songning Martial Artists Guild. The person in front, quickly report your name. There were 3 people in this group, and the leader actually had the strength of a Stage 8 Inner Force martial artist. Supernatural Investigation Bureau Team C Deputy Team Leader Song Huawu. Song Huawu was afraid to disturb Xiao Chun, so she quickly walked over and stopped them. This is my ID. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau is handling a case. It's okay, you can go back. So it's Team Leader Song. Sorry for not recognizing you. The person looked at Song Huawu's ID, cupped his fists, and did not say much. He turned around and left with his people. Fortunately, Xiao Chen's back was facing them, so they didn't pay much attention. The Martial Artists Guild Stage 8 Inner Force martial artists probably knew Xiao Chen, the good-for-nothing from the Xiao family. Fortunately, they didn't see him. Soon, Song Huawu returned and continued to guard by Xiao Chen's side. With the help of the spiritual jade, Xiao Chen's injuries recovered quickly. When all the injuries were healed suddenly, Xiao Chen felt the opportunity to break through the barrier. However, Xiao Chen suddenly hesitated. This woman in black was from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, and he was a cultivator. She might not have felt anything when he secretly circulated the mental cultivation method to heal his injuries, but if he wanted to break through, the surrounding spiritual energy would probably be mobilized. What if she found anything strange at that time? However, Xiao Chen was not willing to give up just like that. One must know that this opportunity was not easy to come by, and it was fleeting. If he missed this opportunity, there would be no more. If he didn't break through now, then he didn't know how long he would have to wait to break through later. To break through or not to break through. After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Chen clenched his teeth. He decided to break through. After all, he had waited for this opportunity for too long. If he had the strength of a level 5 refinement stage cultivator, would he have been beaten so badly by old witch Shishan today? Obviously not. After making up his mind, Xiao Chen continued to circulate the mental cultivation method. Suddenly, he felt a burning sensation from the point of contact between his palm and the ancient jade to the rest of his body. Finally, it gathered at Xiao Chen's lower abdomen and suddenly erupted out of control. The intense burning sensation spread throughout his body in an instant. This sudden inhuman pain almost made Xiao Chen cry out. However, with his strong willpower, Xiao Chen managed to endure it. The burning sensation in his lower abdomen transformed into violent yuan qi and circulated throughout Xiao Chen's body. After about the time it took for a stick of incense to burn, the violent qi gradually became gentle and slowly transformed into Xiao Chen's own yuan qi. A large amount of heaven and earth spiritual qi also gathered around Xiao Chen's body. After a short period of peace, Xiao Chen felt as if his whole body had exploded, like a flood bursting out of a dam. At this moment, Xiao Chen let out a long sigh of relief. According to his past experience, he had successfully broken through. At this moment, he was already a level 5 refinement stage cultivator. Seeing Xiao Chen slowly open his eyes, Song Huawu asked with some curiosity, Are you all right? You seem to have broken through just now. Why is there a lot of aura that seems to be like spiritual qi gathering around you? Are you a devil cultivator? Or, before asking others, shouldn't you first introduce yourself? Xiao Chen didn't answer, but asked indifferently. Oh, I'm sorry. Song Huawu said. My name is Song Huawu, the Deputy Team C of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. I came to Songning City to investigate the cause of Brother Heifeng's death, and how he appeared in Songning City. Brother Heifeng? I don't know him. Xiao Chen shook his head. I'm just a rogue cultivator. Am I considered a devil cultivator? Or maybe a martial cultivator? I'm not sure about the specifics. I'm just a rogue cultivator. Can you keep it a secret for me? Keep it a secret. Song Huawu was slightly stunned and then said, No problem. If you don't want to reveal your identity, I won't reveal it for you. Some martial artists, for various reasons, did not want others to pay attention to and know about them. Song Huawu was not surprised. All right, thank you for saving me today. I can't thank you enough. I'll take my leave first. Xiao Chen nodded. He and Song Huawu had only met by chance, and he did not want to have a deep relationship with her. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau's power was comparable to the Warrior Guild, and it was even an official organization. It might be helpful in finding his father. However, Xiaochen did not know who Song Huawu was. Of course, even if he knew, she might not help him. Therefore, Xiaochen did not say much. Wait. Although I promised to keep it a secret for you, you said that you're a devil cultivator? Song Huawu looked at Xiaochen. Do you have any contact with other devil cultivator disciples? Do I look like someone who would contact others? I even asked you to keep it a secret for me. Xiaochen said, I don't want to get involved in these disputes. I just went to the Warrior Guild to accept a mission, and got into trouble with such a devil cultivator. I usually keep a low profile. Chapter 284. Forget it. It's nothing. You can go. Song Huawu nodded. I didn't save you today, but you saved me. It's considered a mutual rescue. You don't have to owe me any favors. Okay. Xiaochen was stunned. He didn't expect Song Huawu to say this. This chick is really interesting. I can owe her a favor. But she refused. He looked at Song Huawu up and down. This woman's figure seems to be quite good. Her pair of slender legs is even more charming. It's just that her face is covered. I don't know what she looks like. However, this was probably the first and last time Xiaochen and her met, because Xiaochen didn't think that he would have any interaction with her in the future. After getting in the car, Xiaochen quickly started the car and left, leaving Song Huawu alone to clean up the body of Old Witch of Xishan. Song Huawu said to herself, I don't know what will happen in Songning. Two important figures of the demon sect appeared here. And there is also a demon sect rogue cultivator. Is it really just a coincidence? Although the disciples of the demon sect did not harm people like the evil cultivators, they had always been a relatively special group. They were ostracized by some famous sections. Although on the surface, the two forces coexisted peacefully, in private, there were still fighting summits. Every time there was a competition at the summit, there would be innocent disciples dying. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau wanted to stop it, but they couldn't. This kind of private thing was repeatedly prohibited. Now two important figures of the demon sect appeared in Songning City. Is there a summit being held here? Or am I thinking too much? She was going to report to the higher-ups after returning. After all, this was not a small matter. The identities of these two were very special. Once something went wrong, it would be a catastrophe for the underworld. The few forces behind them would never let it go, especially one of them. His identity was a bit sensitive. Song Huawu had a headache thinking of this. She originally came to investigate Brother Heifeng's matter. She didn't expect so many follow-up troubles. After taking away Old Witch of Xishan's corpse, the place returned to its previous tranquility. After Xiaochen got in the car and drove for a distance, he dialed Zhang Tianhao's number. No matter what, Zhang Tianhao was still a good person. Xiaochen wanted to dispel his worries. Hello. Zhang Tianhao carefully picked up the phone, because he didn't know who was calling. Was it White Fox or Witch Xishan, who had already won? Zhang Tianhao, it's me. Xishan old monster is dead. You don't have to worry, Xiaochen said lightly. Ah, dead. Zhang Tianhao was stunned. After confirming that it was indeed the White Fox's voice, he was overjoyed. I knew that the White Fox hero is the most powerful. What's the big deal about the West Mountain Demon? Kill him. During this period of time, Zhang Tianhao had been very depressed. Every day, he was on tenterhooks. Now that the Witch of Xishan was dead, he was relieved. You informed the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, right? Thank you. If it wasn't for the help of the people over there, it wouldn't have been easy for me to kill Witch Xishan alone, Xiaochen said. Haha, it's nothing. It's good that he's dead, Zhang Tianhao said. White Fox hero, I will personally go to Songning City and treat you to a meal. That's not necessary. I'll hang up first. I need to drive, Xiaochen said. Okay. White Fox hero, keep in touch, Zhang Tianhao said. After hanging up the phone, Xiaochen drove back to the direction of the villa area. On the way, Xiaochen suddenly thought of the problem of medicinal herbs, so he asked the Elder Heaven Ancestor, Elder Heaven Ancestor, I am now a Qi Refinement Stage Level 5 cultivator. Should I change my medicine? Don't change it for now. Drink again tonight, and consolidate your strength. Don't practice today. Your strength level was forcibly broken through in battle, so your foundation is not very stable. It's better to consolidate it, the elder heaven ancestor said. Okay. Xiaochen nodded. What happened today was a fluke. If it wasn't for Song Huawu's help, he would have died. However, at the critical moment, he actually broke through to the Qi refinement stage level 5, which really surprised him. However, if it weren't for the 2 pieces of ancient jade, Xiaochen wouldn't have been able to break through so quickly. When he took out the 2 pieces of ancient jade, Xiaochen noticed that the color of the smaller piece of ancient jade had already become extremely dim. The situation was that all the energy in the spiritual jade had been absorbed by Xiaochen. It had even been absorbed from the inner core to the outside. Otherwise, the first thing to be absorbed would be the spiritual qi inside the spiritual jade. It would not be obvious from the outside. Only when the spiritual qi was almost completely absorbed would it be revealed from the outside. It would probably not take long for the jade pendant to shatter into powder and become useless. I used up a spirit jade so quickly. Xiaochen suddenly felt a little regretful. If he remembered correctly, this smaller spirit jade contained the strongest energy. Otherwise, Xiaochen wouldn't have let him add another spirit jade as a bet. Originally, Xiaochen wanted to make good use of this spirit jade, but in the end, it was used up. Fortunately, he had broken through. If he hadn't, it would be a little troublesome. Your smaller spirit jade is not bad. It's not much different from your previous jade pendant, but it seems to be more difficult to get. The voice of the elder heaven ancestor sounded. It seems that it's not easy to get spirit jades in the secular world. But in my opinion, since these people can get it, they must have some way to get it. Think of another way. This kind of good quality spirit jade is not bad. I know it's not bad, but I also need some way to get it. If I look for spirit jades with great fanfare, I will definitely be suspected by others. God knows if there are other cultivators. Xiaochen said. I can't do anything about this. After all, so many years have passed. What I see and what I know are not the same. For the time being, I can't help you in Songning City. If your strength is higher, I can tell you a place where you can go and get some of the treasures I hid in the past. The elder heaven ancestor said. If I remember correctly, there should be spirit jades in there. Oh, treasures? Where is it? Xiaochen asked with some excitement. Oh, it's very far. Moreover, with your strength, you can't even open the first level restriction. Going there is no use. The elder heaven ancestor poured cold water on him. All right, what special ability does a cultivator in the 5th level have? Xiaochen was more concerned about this question. The special ability of a cultivator in the 5th level of the refinement stage. Look at it yourself. Why do you always ask me? The elder heaven ancestor said. Xiaochen quickly looked at the special ability of a cultivator in the 5th level of the refinement stage in his mind. It was the extension of illusion. It could change one's appearance for a short period of time, but not for too long because it would consume one's energy. Once the energy was exhausted, one would revert to their original appearance. This ability was somewhat useful for Xiaochen, but it wasn't very useful. At most, he could change his appearance when he wasn't wearing the white fox mask, or when the mask was taken off. As for other uses, Xiaochen hadn't figured them out yet. However, it should be useful at a critical moment. After driving the car back to the villa area, Xiaochen returned home. However, Xiaochen's embarrassed look stunned Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei. What's wrong with you? Did you encounter a fire or? Looking at Xiaochen, whose shirt was burnt black and most of it had turned into ashes, Cheng Minjing asked in confusion. It's nothing. I was somehow implicated, Xiaochen said. Anyway, many people want to kill me today. Cheng Minjing nodded and didn't ask anymore. It was true that many people wanted to kill Xiaochen today. Even if she asked, she wouldn't get any answers. I'm going back to my room to take a shower, Xiaochen said. I'll come out to cook later. After returning to his room, Xiaochen boiled the medicinal herbs in the electric clay pot, and then went to take a hot shower. Xiaochen hadn't tested the strength of the 5th level of the Qi refinement stage yet. However, he needed to consolidate it first, Song Huawu returned to her temporary residence in Songning City. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau had a public house in every city. Song Huawu was currently living here temporarily. The corpse of the old witch of Shishan had been sent back to the headquarters through her channel. At this moment, Song Huawu was reporting to her boss, the leader of Team C, Yang Jiannan. Xiao Wu, you did a good job. The old witch of Shishan is a demonic cultivator wanted by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau for a long time. It wasn't easy for you to capture him today. Don't worry, I'll ask for credit for you. Yang Jiannan said. As for the matter of the demonic sect that you mentioned, it can be a big or small matter. I suggest you stay in Songning City for a while. It's best to investigate their purpose. Okay, I understand. Song Huawu nodded. Xiao Wu, if it's boring for you to be alone, I'll see if I can apply to accompany you. Yang Jiannan said softly. No need, Team Leader Yang. This isn't a big case. I can handle it alone. Song Huawu said indifferently. Okay, Xiao Wu. Girls shouldn't be too strong-willed. If you encounter any difficulties, tell me. I'll be there as soon as possible. Yang Jiannan said. Thank you, Team Leader Yang. Song Huawu replied. I told you to call me Brother Nan in private. You don't have to be so polite. Yang Jiannan said. Song Huawu's eyes flashed with a trace of helplessness. She said indifferently. It's work now. Hehe, okay. Take care of yourself. Yang Jiannan laughed. After hanging up the phone, Song Huawu frowned slightly. Yang Jiannan's pursuit of her was no secret in Team C. Even the other teams knew about it. Many people thought that Song Huawu was promoted because of Yang Jiannan. In fact, that was not the case. Song Huawu was also capable. It was just that Yang Jiannan often claimed to be Song Huawu's boyfriend. This made Song Huawu feel helpless, but also made others believe it. After all, the more people said it, the more people would believe it. Song Huawu didn't like to explain these things. The more she explained, the more unclear it would be. Chapter 285. Song Huawu didn't like Yang Jiannan. She always felt that Yang Jiannan wasn't masculine at all. His personality was very feminine. Although his strength was there, Song Huawu didn't like this type. However, in terms of work, it was inevitable that the two of them would often come into contact. One was the team leader, and the other was the deputy team leader. It was impossible to avoid them. Therefore, Song Huawu could only constantly ask for missions. This time, she stayed in Songning City for this reason. If she went back, Yang Jiannan's attentiveness every day would be unbearable. Yang Jiannan hung up the phone, and a trace of femininity flashed in his eyes. He snorted. Teach, you rejected me again and again. But it's okay. I have patience. Sooner or later, I'll take you down. For the past 2 days, Yu Xiaochuan had been hanging out with Xiaosu. Not only did he constantly have sex with Xiaosu, but he also transferred Xiaosu's blood into his body. Then he used his mental cultivation to dissolve and fuse it into his body. However, what made Red Hair's hair stand on end was that Yu Xiaochuan's actions seemed to be more and more effeminate. His voice also became shrill. Although he was still a man, and he could still sleep with Xiaosu, Red Hair still felt that something was wrong. However, Red Hair didn't dare to speak carelessly. Who knew what kind of mystical martial arts Yu Xiaochuan was practicing? In order to live a few more days, he didn't dare to ask about these confidential things. Of course, a person's change was usually undetectable by oneself. This was the saying, the onlooker sees the game more clearly. Red Hair saw everything clearly. However, Yu Xiaochuan didn't feel that there was anything wrong with him. He was still hanging out with Xiaosu. On Tang Tang's side, although Yu Xiaochuan really wanted to take her into his arms, there was still a more important matter at hand. If he mastered the Chrysanthemum treasure book, he would be able to dominate the world. What made Yu Xiaochuan happy was that after Xiaosu's blood fused with his, he could even slowly use the mantra of the first level of the Chrysanthemum treasure book. Although it wasn't particularly smooth, he believed that as long as he continued doing this, he could smoothly cultivate the Chrysanthemum treasure book. Therefore, these few days Yu Xiaochuan was very happy. He even forgot about Tang Tang and Xiaochen. Today, when he thought about Tang Tang, he gave old Master Tang a call. Xiaochuan, why did you call an old man like me? Tang Fengbai and Yu Xiaochuan had reached an agreement in private, so Tang Fengbai's attitude towards Yu Xiaochuan became polite. He already treated Yu Xiaochuan as his grandson-in-law. Grandpa Tang, I have good news for you. That mysterious Yin woman is still very effective. I can already barely circulate the first layer of the chrysanthemum treasure book. Yu Xiaochuan said, how's the progress on your side? I've only just familiarized myself with the first level of the mantra. I didn't expect it to be so effective. Tang Fengbai immediately regretted his impatience. Yeah, Yu Xiaochuan said. I think we should hurry up on Tang Tang's side. Let her go back to the Tang family and wait for her marriage. Don't always hang out with Xiaochen. It's not good if any rumors are spread. She doesn't have to go to school anymore. She can drop out of school. Anyway, she's a woman. It's good to stay at home, to take care of her husband and children. This was the purpose of Yu Xiaochuan's call. Okay, I'll arrange it. Tang Fengbai nodded. I'll send someone to pick up Tang Tang in a while. In fact, I'm also afraid that the matter of your cultivation will be exposed. If that happens, I might be implicated. The fewer people who know about this matter, the better. I understand. That's why I chose Tang Tang. In fact, I can also choose other people. But Tang Tang can keep it a secret for us. Yu Xiaochuan said. I'll arrange it. You two should get engaged as soon as possible. And then you can move to the Tang family. That way, you and I can also learn from each other. Tang Fengbai said. Okay, the engagement must be done as soon as possible. But I'll think about moving over, Yu Xiaochuan said. However, Yu Xiaochuan also had to say that Tang Fengbai's suggestion was good. He didn't tell the Yu family about his cultivation of the chrysanthemum treasure book. All of this was carried out by him in private. Although the Yu family was a little puzzled by Yu Xiaochuan's draft, they didn't interfere too much. Old Master Yu had already begun to support Yu Xiaochuan's promotion, so as long as Yu Xiaochuan didn't do anything too out of line, he wouldn't interfere. As for the draft, it could at least increase the company's reputation, and it didn't cost much, so he didn't care too much. Therefore, Yu Xiaochuan didn't know whether his family would support his cultivation. Although cultivating the chrysanthemum treasure book might shock the world, the Yu family had always been a righteous family. If Old Master Yu really couldn't think of anything to stop him, then Yu Xiaochuan really couldn't do anything. After thinking about it, Yu Xiaochuan planned to act first and report later. When he had the strength, then everything would be easy. Tang Tang didn't expect that the Tang family would come so quickly. She had just closed the stall and returned to her temporary residence when the Tang family came. Miss Tang, the old master asked me to pick you up. The person who came was Old Master Tang's trusted butler, Old Master Zheng. Tang Tang naturally knew this person. This person had already served the Tang family when Tang Tang was born. Going back so soon? Tang Tang was a little surprised. She didn't expect her grandfather to send someone to pick her up. Although she had expected it, she didn't expect it to be so soon. It seemed that Yu Xiaochuan was putting pressure on them. No matter how hard Xiaochen tried to stop him, it was not as important as a word from the Tang family. Tang Tang didn't want to go back, but she knew that she had to go back. With her grandfather's character, if she refused, he would force her to go back. This is the old master's order. Old Master Zheng said, Please understand, Miss Tang. This old servant is also acting according to the master's order. I'll pack up. Tang Tang sighed. Can I make a phone call? The old master didn't say no. Old Master Zheng said. He was an old-fashioned person, so if there was, then there was. If there wasn't, then there wasn't. Tang Tang nodded and dialed Xiaochen's number. She had to tell Xiaochen that she was going to leave. Tomorrow morning, she couldn't go to the morning market to sell fried dough sticks. This morning was the last time for the two of them. Perhaps, the two of them would meet again in the future, but at that time, things would be different. Tang Tang was already married. Between her and Xiaochen, they were really just ordinary friends, or at most brothers. Tang Tang? Xiaochen received a call from Tang Tang after taking a shower. It's me. I have to go. My family is coming to pick me up. Tang Tang's voice was indescribably lonely, with deep helplessness, but there was no way. What? So soon? Xiaochun was shocked. He didn't expect Yu Xiaochuan to make a move after all. Did he not care about the photos? As he was thinking about these things, Xiaochun's cell phone prompted that there was a new call from SIM card 2. Xiaochun glanced at it. It was actually a call from Yu Xiaochuan, but he didn't care about it. Well, take care. Tang Tang took a deep breath. I think it's more suitable for you and Sister Lin to be together. Miss Chung is not very suitable for you. I have a sense of propriety, but you. There was an indescribable feeling of sorrow in Xiaochun's heart. He couldn't explain it clearly. He was reluctant to part with her, but it was not justified. It's nothing. Anyway, I accepted it in the past. It's just that I have a free life for a while. Speaking of it, it's still profitable. Tang Tang had always been so optimistic. Some things can be delayed, Xiaochun said. On my side. In fact, it won't be long before I have the qualifications to talk to the Tang family. Well, I believe you. Tang Tang smiled. But did she really believe it? She didn't know Xiaochun's strength. She was different from Shun Jingxian. In her understanding, Xiaochun was an ordinary person. She said so just for her own fantasy. Miss Tang, the head of the family asked me to take you back immediately. Please pay attention to the time. Elder Zheng saw that Tang Tang had been on the phone, so he said, help me tell Zheng Xiaoquan that I may not be able to go to school tomorrow. Tang Tang knew that girls would not go to school until they were officially engaged at home. After the engagement, they would not go to school again. Okay. Xiaochun was unspeakably sad in his heart. Well, that's enough. I'm hanging up. Tang Tang smiled. Cheer up. I'm not going to die. I'm just going to get engaged. After hanging up the phone, Tang Tang silently began to pack up her things. Xiaochun took a deep breath and called Yu Xiaochuan. What's the matter? Xiaochun's attitude was very bad. Hero White Fox, I'm young Master Kun. Yu Xiaochuan was stunned. He didn't expect this white fox to be so rude. I know. Why are you calling? If you have a fart, just say it. If not, I'll hang up. Xiaochun said. Hero White Fox, I want to ask you. I won't kill Xiaochun. But can you help me secretly delete the photos in Xiaochun's mobile phone? And then find if there is a computer or camera in his house. And then delete all the data in it. Yu Xiaochuan wanted to solve this matter once and for all. So he thought of White Fox. Oh sure. Delete the phone for 10 million. Go to his house for 20 million. A total of 30 million. Xiaochun said. So much. Yu Xiaochuan was stunned. He didn't expect White Fox to be so greedy. He asked for 30 million. Can it be less? Then you find someone else. Xiaochun said directly. Don't. Yu Xiaochuan couldn't find someone else. The fewer people who knew about this, the better. Yu Xiaochuan had worked with White Fox several times. He felt that this person's credibility was good. If he found someone else, he might not necessarily have a relationship with Xiaochun. If Xiaochun noticed it in advance and backed up 3 or 5 copies on the network hard disk, then Yu Xiaochuan really wanted to cry but had no tears. Chapter 286. Anything else? Xiaochun asked. Okay. 30 million, right? I'll call you. Yu Xiaochuan said. But how can you prove that you deleted it? I'll go to Xiaochun's room and secretly take a few photos of you and send them to him, Xiaochun said. Okay. Yu Xiaochuan didn't suspect anything this time and nodded. Idiot. Xiaochun hung up the phone and cursed. Then, he went to cook for the young mistress and the others. When Xiaochun went out, the young mistress and Jean Bebe weren't in the living room. Obviously, they went upstairs. In the kitchen, Yi Xiaoya was there. Seeing Xiaochun, Yi Xiaoya said, Xiaochun, where did you buy those vegetables? Where did I buy them? Xiaochun was slightly stunned. In the agricultural store at the entrance of the neighborhood. That can't be right. I went to buy them just now. But they were different from the ones you bought before. They didn't taste good. Yi Xiaoya said, Are you lying to me? Why would I lie to you about this? Although Xiaochun knew it, he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I don't need to lie to you. Maybe every batch of goods is different. Maybe. Yi Xiaoya could only believe it. After all, she was also puzzled. Xiao Chen wouldn't lie to her, because it was meaningless to lie to her. Did you buy this celery? Why didn't you eat it? Xiao Chen saw a bag of celery by the stove and asked. I bought it. I wanted to stir-fry it, but I found it didn't taste good when I stir-fried noodles, so I didn't have the mood to stir-fry celery. Yi Xiaoya said. If you want it, you can have it. This celery is good. It seems to be the same as the batch I bought before. Maybe this celery is delicious. Xiao Chen said. Really? Yi Xiaoya was stunned and didn't believe it. I'll give you some when I'm done. Have a taste, Xiao Chen said. Okay. Yi Xiaoya nodded, but she still felt that it was unlikely. There were some leftover ingredients, and some celery on Yi Xiaoya's side. Xiao Chen quickly made a few light side dishes, and gave some to Yi Xiaoya. Have a taste. There's no need to taste it. I can tell from the fragrance that this celery is from yesterday's batch. Yi Xiaoya was a little depressed and said, This batch of ingredients is very delicious. I don't know where they got them. Today's is different. Maybe it's specially supplied to 5-star hotels, and the surplus is sold to agricultural stores. But this situation can't happen every day. Xiao Chen said. You know quite a lot. Yi Xiaoya ate the fried noodles while eating the stir-fried celery. She found the fried noodles extremely disgusting. By the way, how's my dog? You didn't kill it and eat its meat, did you? Xiao Chen suddenly remembered that he hadn't seen his super invincible dog in the universe for a few days. So he asked. No, I gave it an elixir and it fell asleep. It hasn't woken up yet. Yi Xiaoya said apologetically. But don't worry. It should be fine. Its body condition is normal. That's good. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. But he would let her do whatever she wanted. It would be fine as long as she didn't kill it. Young mistress and Jean Beibei went downstairs, and Yi Xiaoya went upstairs. She didn't get along well with Jean Beibei, and they might quarrel downstairs. However, Yi Xiaoya was no match for Jean Beibei, so she had to stay away. Boring. She ran away as soon as she saw Beibei. Jean Beibei squinted at the gloomy Yi Xiaoya and chuckled. All right, Beibei. If she doesn't provoke us, just let her be. Cheng Minjing wasn't a person who liked to cause trouble. Since Yi Xiaoya had retreated, she didn't have the intention to kill her. Oh, I'm hungry. I didn't have enough for lunch, Jean Beibei said. We ate in the afternoon. It's only been a few hours. Cheng Minjing glared at her. How can you eat so much? Cousin-in-law, you're hungry too, right? Jean Beibei asked. Hee, it's all right, Xiao Chen said. Minjing, you should eat less too. This meal is rather light. Okay. Cheng Minjing sat down. She realized that she was losing her resistance to the delicacies made by Xiao Chen. She didn't want to eat at first, but she couldn't help but move her chopsticks when she smelled the aroma of the food. It's delicious. The celery is delicious. Cousin-in-law, you should eat. Jean Beibei said. Yes. It's delicious. Let's eat together. Xiao Chen nodded. He realized that it was fun to be silly with Jean Beibei sometimes. Hey, it's my birthday the day after tomorrow. I'll hold a birthday party at the Chung family. You'll be my attendant. Cheng Minjing said as she looked at Xiao Chen, who was enjoying the food. Oh, birthday party? Xiao Chen was stunned. Your birthday? I'm so angry. You don't even know my birthday? How did you become a fiancé before? Cheng Minjing was enraged by Xiao Chen's words. Xiao Chen didn't take her seriously at all. I'm just stunned. You've never invited me to your birthday parties before. Xiao Chen said with a bitter smile. Don't you have legs if I don't invite you? Why did you show up at Xin Jingshuan's birthday party? Cheng Minjing glared at Xiao Chen fiercely. I'll be your attendant? Okay. Don't worry. I'll be a good attendant. Xiao Chen changed the topic. Humph. Cheng Minjing didn't want to dwell on this issue, because it would only make her angrier. However, Xiao Chen didn't say anything. In fact, he was thinking in his heart. This was the first time he showed up in public, since he was kicked out of the Xiao family. Was it a blessing or a curse? However, it was okay to see the real attitude of the Chung family toward him. Xiao Chen knew all the descendants of the aristocratic families. After he was kicked out of the Xiao family, they contacted each other more or less frequently. Therefore, Xiao Chen didn't have any scruples or fears. Anyway, as long as he did his part, There was nothing to make things difficult for him. The most important thing was that Xiaochun wanted to see if there was any problem with the Cheng family. It was reasonable to say that Cheng Zhongqian of the Cheng family also disappeared with his father. Therefore, the suspicion of the Cheng family was undoubtedly the least. However, there was a saying that often the least suspicious was the most suspicious. Xiaochun didn't know why he had this idea. Anyway, there was no harm in looking more. From the several incidents that targeted him in succession, it could be seen that Chao Yuliang was a fool who jumped to the front desk. He had to cooperate with Li Shanying to deal with me. What ability does he have? Xiaochun really didn't think that he had the ability to make my father disappear. If he really had this ability, I would have disappeared because of him. He couldn't be defeated again and again. Therefore, for such a person, Xiaochun had basically lost interest in continuing to investigate him. The reason why he was still in contact with him was that this fool often sent him money. As for the person behind Chao Yuliang, Xiaochun didn't want to ask. At least, first, Xiaochun didn't want to expose himself for the time being. Second, if he completely broke up with him, then he wouldn't have money in the future. Without money, without medicine, there would be enemies who would send him to the front. It was a very good thing to use the enemy to grow step by step. Hey, what are you thinking about? Cheng Minjing saw that Xiaochun lowered his head and didn't speak, so she asked. Nothing. This birthday party, Chao Yuliang and the others will also go, right? Xiaochun asked. They should go. Jingxian will bring Chen Jinpeng. Then Chao Yuliang will naturally go as well. Of course. I just don't know how many people from each family will go. Cheng Minjing said. Master. Xiaochun was slightly stunned. Will my second uncle Xiaohai go? I heard that the Cheng family and the Xiao family proposed marriage. Will Xiao go? Poor Qizhigao. And yes. Right, Uncle Xiaohai should also go. Cheng Minjing said. My grandpa sent him an invitation. Xiaochun nodded. Sometimes, he had to face what he had to face. It was impossible to say that he was not worried about his family's affairs these days. Although he was puzzled and annoyed by the fact that his family had chased him out, it had already faded away these days. In fact, if he didn't get kicked out of his family, how could Xiaochun have his current strength and fortuitous encounters? The so-called loss must have a gain. It was a blessing in disguise. As for the Xiao family's original approach, Xiaochun could understand it more and more. In the end, it was also a kind of protection. At that time, Cheng Minjing's father also acquiesced to this point. The Xiao family was weak. If the Xiao family was stronger than the Cheng family, then the one who would be kicked out of the family might be the Missy, not him. The Xiao family was declining. Only after Xiaochun left the Xiao family did he deeply feel the misery of the Xiao family. Other families, although there was no lack of people like Chun Erbai, Idiot Chao, and Yu Kaizi, but if Xiaochun didn't have his current strength, if he wasn't a cultivator, then he would be a piece of trash that they could play with. I know. Xiaochun nodded. The night after tomorrow after school, are we going directly from school? Yes, you drive, we will go directly. Cheng Minjing said. Then do I need to prepare any gifts? Asked Xiaochun. Think about it yourself. Cheng Minjing snorted. But you didn't pay me a salary. I don't have money. Said Xiaochun. You cheated so much money. Did you eat it? Asked Cheng Minjing. Ugh. Yeah, I bought medicine and ate it. Xiaochun nodded. How did you know? Go to hell. Cheng Minjing didn't believe that Xiaochun was telling the truth. She thought he was talking nonsense. How could medicine be so expensive? In the evening, Xiaochun took the potion. After training, he clearly felt that his strength had been stabilized. He was now a cultivator at the 5th level of the Qi refinement stage. At this moment, his strength was equivalent to the strength of a martial artist at the 6th level of the inner force. His other abilities were even more difficult for a martial artist to match. After consolidating his strength, Xiaochun took a few photos of his room for Yu Xiaochuan, then took a few photos at the door of the villa, and sent them to him. After seeing the photos, Yu Xiaochuan was overjoyed. Chapter 287. Yu Xiaochuan did not expect the White Fox swordsman to be so helpful. The mission that he had assigned to him was completed on the same night. This made Yu Xiaochuan very happy to transfer 30 million yuan to the White Fox Swordsman's account in the Warriors Guild. For the time being, Xiaochun was not short of money. What he lacked was spiritual jades. Of course, this was also under the premise that the price of medicinal materials did not rise. If the price of medicinal materials continued to rise, he would enter a state of bankruptcy sooner or later. After all this was done, Xiaochun lay on the bed and logged into the Warrior Guild's client. He found Yi Bia and sent her a private message. The Witch of Shishan appeared and stopped me on the road. But with the help of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, he was successfully dealt with. Yi Xiaoya's message came back after a while. White Fox, are you crazy? Why are you sending me a message in the middle of the night? But then, Yi Xiaoya's message came back. What? The Witch of Shishan came? The Supernatural Investigation Bureau is here too? Who is it? Well, her name is Song Huawu, but she seems to be investigating a person called Brother Heifeng. This person was also on the task commission list, but he was later killed and turned in the task. Xiaochun said. Song Huawu? It's her. She is a little biased against evil cultivators. You'd better not pay attention to her. Yi Xiaoya reminded him. Okay. Xiaochun said. It was estimated that he would not see her for the rest of his life. I'm going to sleep. Talk to you another day. Yi Xiaoya was sleepy. Oh, you won't tell me that you are going to sleep, and then turn around to chat with my idol, will you? Xiaochun said. You are crazy. You are already an evil cultivator. Why are you still so bored? Yi Xiaoya sent a skull emoji. At 3 o'clock in the morning, Xiaochun subconsciously wanted to get up and go to the morning market to sell breakfast. However, when he was dressed and ready to go out, Xiaochun laughed at himself. Tang Tang had already left him. He would never appear in the morning market street again. The days when they sold fried dough sticks together in the morning market street could only be a beautiful memory. When Xiaochun had just been driven out of the family and was at his most helpless and confused, this life in the morning market street occupied Xiaochun's life. Every time he thought about it, Xiaochun felt especially warm. But those days were gone forever. The next morning, Xiaochun didn't go to the morning market again. Instead, he prepared breakfast for his mistress and Jean Bebe. After dawn, Yi Xiaoya came out to water the flower bed outside the villa and take care of her flowers and plants. Xiaochun finally couldn't help but ask, Yi Xiaoya, what are you planting? Medicinal herbs? Yes. Yi Xiaoya nodded and said, some medicinal herbs are too expensive and difficult to buy, so I planted some myself. Oh, are you also a warrior? Are you an evil cultivator or a martial cultivator? Xiaochun asked. Why do you ask this? Yi Xiaoya glanced at Xiaochun and ignored him, saying, let's talk about it when you can cultivate yourself. Don't you feel tired living off a woman all the time? Xiaochun was a little helpless. He just chatted with her casually, but the topic of living off a woman came back again. When the mistress went downstairs, she saw that Xiaochun was also at home. She was a little surprised, asking, Xiaochun, why didn't you go to the morning market street? Tang Tang went back to the Tang family. Xiaochun sighed helplessly, saying, I guess she won't come to school again. Ah, she already went back. After listening, Cheng Minjing became a little silent. She sympathized with Tang Tang, because she used to be like this. She was afraid that one day, she would suddenly be called back by her family and told that she had to marry Xiaochun. But now, Cheng Minjing was still afraid of being called back by her family. She was afraid that her family would marry her to another stranger, or to Chao Yuliang. At this time, Cheng Minjing thought that it was better to marry Xiaochun. Well, sometimes some things are involuntary. Xiaochun sighed and said, I won't go to the morning market street in the future. Isn't Kerlin also at the morning market street? Cheng Minjing asked. Don't you go to find your little lover? There's nothing between me and her. Xiaochun shook his head. Well, let's eat. I'm done. Oh. Seeing that Xiaochun wasn't in a good mood, Cheng Minjing didn't say anything more. For the whole day, Xiaochun wasn't in a good mood. Although he knew that there would be such a day, who would have thought that this day would come so soon? Yu Xiaochuan once again completed the blood transfusion. After refining the blood with the mantra, according to the advice in the notes, he should have intercourse with Xiaosu at this time. But Yu Xiaochuan suddenly found that he seemed to have no interest in Xiaosu at all. In fact, before this, he found that he had no interest in Xiaosu. Intercourse before the blood transfusion was just a routine. Could it be that he was tired of playing with Xiaosu? But no, even if he was tired, he had to continue playing. In order to practice the Chrysanthemum Treasure Book, Yu Xiaochuan must continue playing until he vomited. Young Master Kun, why do you seem to have no interest in me? Are you tired of playing with me, and don't want me anymore? With Yu Xiaochuan, it was hard for Xiaosu to get any satisfaction. Every day, she would secretly look for Redhead to have an affair. But maintaining her relationship with Yu Xiaochuan was her way of earning money, so she had to control Yu Xiaochuan. Otherwise, Yu Xiaochuan would throw her away after using her. Although he could give her some money, it wouldn't last long. How much money could a redhead have? Xiaosu originally didn't have such big ambitions, but after a few days with Yu Xiaochuan, this kind of upper-class life made her unable to extricate herself. Don't think too much. I'm a little tired these few days. Come, let's do it again. Yu Xiaochuan patted Xiaosu, motioning for her to come to the bed. Young Master Kun, I'm coming. Today, I just learned a different trick on the internet. Let's try it together. Xiaosu said. Okay. Yu Xiaochuan nodded, but he realized that he didn't seem to be interested in any tricks at all. If it was in the past, he would definitely be in a hurry to try it out. But now, he took his time to undress. Xiaosu tried her best, but she still realized that Yu Xiaochuan was very cold towards her. This made Xiaosu feel very sad. She felt that her good days were coming to an end. Although it was more enjoyable with Redhead wasn't as rich as Yu Xiaochuan. And Yu Xiaochuan also felt that it was time for him to change up his taste. Was it because he was a little tired from being with Xiaosu every day? Otherwise, his fighting strength wouldn't be so low. Even if he couldn't be called a man who could do it 7 times a night, he could still do it 5 times a night. Now doing it twice a day wasn't very good. After barely finishing it with Xiaosu, Xiaosu walked out with a face of satisfaction and left unsatisfied. Yu Xiaochuan called Redhead in. This made Xiaosu even more dissatisfied. She was just about to find Redhead to do it again, but she was called over by Yu Xiaochuan. This made her very depressed. Young Master Kun, you were looking for me? Redhead was originally going to find a place to do Xiaosu. Normally, after Yu Xiaochuan was done, he would definitely rest for a while. But in reality, Yu Xiaochuan was practicing his mantra. Yu Xiaochuan looked at Redhead's bulging crotch. He didn't know why, but he suddenly felt desire again. How was this possible? Yu Xiaochuan shook his head. He thought it was ridiculous. It must be that Xiaosu was tired of playing and didn't satisfy himself. That's why he's like this, Yu Xiaochuan thought. Help me find 2 young models. Hurry, Yu Xiaochuan said. Okay, I'll go now. Redhead nodded. Although he wanted to find Xiaosu as soon as possible, he couldn't ignore Yu Xiaochuan's orders. So he found his phone book and called a pimp manager. He picked up 2 young models for Yu Xiaochuan, and then he went to the agreed location to pick them up. Very soon the young models arrived. But Yu Xiaochuan tragically realized that he wasn't interested in them at all. When he saw them, it was as if he saw his brothers. He couldn't even compare to Xiaosu. At least, Yu Xiaochuan could still force himself to have sex with Xiaosu, because it was for cultivation. But no matter what he did with these 2 young models, Yu Xiaochuan didn't have any reaction. Helpless, Yu Xiaochuan could only give them some money to send them away. But it wasn't a waste. Since he had already found them, he gave them the money anyway. In the end, this made Xiaosu even more depressed. With the young models that Yu Xiaochuan rewarded, Redhead naturally threw Xiaosu aside. On Monday morning, Xiaochun drove the Land Rover to school with Missy and Jean Bebe. The rich Jean Bebe's car had not been repaired, so Missy and Jean Bebe could only hitch a ride with Xiaochun. Luckily, Xiaochun was free today and didn't need to go to the morning street. Now there was no need to hide the relationship between Xiaochun and Cheng Minjing. Anyway, Lu Zhenming knew it. Yu Xiaochuan and other members of his family also knew Xiaochun's identity, so Xiaochun didn't need to hide anything. At the school gate, Missy and Jean Bebe got out of the car first. Xiaochen drove to the parking lot and encountered Yu Xiaochuan's Audi A8L. Yesterday, Yu Xiaochuan could manage to have sex with Xiaosu, but this morning, he couldn't do it at all. Yu Xiaochuan transfused his blood gloomily and then came to school for a walk. He suspected that the pressure of practicing the chrysanthemum book was too great, and he was too eager for quick success, so his body rejected it. Therefore, Yu Xiaochuan came to school for a walk. Seeing Xiaochen, Yu Xiaochuan suddenly remembered that White Fox had finished the task yesterday, so he was in a good mood. He walked to Xiaochen with a smile. Xiaochen, where are your photos? Let me have a look. I'll give you the money after, I'm sure. I don't know what happened to the photos, but they are all gone. Did you find a hacker to delete them? Xiaochen said gloomily. Ah, deleted them? Then I'm sorry, I can't give you the money. Yu Xiaochuan was overjoyed. White Fox was really awesome. However, he suddenly felt that it was not a big deal. At this moment, he didn't seem to care about it too much. What was going on? Chapter 288. You don't want to treat Tang Tang anymore? Are you going to let her give up the treatment and return to her previous appearance? Asked Xiaochen. Yu Xiaochuan wanted to say something, but he suddenly had a feeling that whether Tang Tang looked good or not, whether she was fat or not, had little to do with him. What is this situation? Yu Xiaochuan was a little confused. I don't like Tang Tang anymore? Do you agree or not? Xiaochen frowned. If you haven't thought about it, come to me when you have thought it through. Xiaochen, you are so domineering. Yu Xiaochuan suddenly said with a sharp voice. So stylish. What? Xiaochen looked at Yu Xiaochuan in amazement. Your brain is attacked by a virus? What nonsense are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Let me think about it. Yu Xiaochuan sweated. Why did I suddenly say such a sentence? What's wrong with me? It must be because of the continuous practice and Xiaosu in the past few days. I didn't have a good rest and was a little insane. Whatever. Xiaochen shook his head and turned away. Today, this Yu Xiaochuan seems to be weird. Is he stimulated by something? Xiaochen looked at Yu Xiaochuan's back and frowned. Why do I feel that Yu Xiaochuan is a little crazy? Is there a problem with practicing the chrysanthemum treasure book? When he came to the class and looked at the empty seat, Xiaochen's mood became unprecedentedly heavy. This seat no longer belonged to Tang Tang. Maybe in a few days there would be a new deskmate sitting here. Hey, Tang Tang didn't come with you? Zheng Xiaoquan saw Xiaochen and didn't see Tang Tang. He asked with some surprise. Tang Tang went back to the Tang family. She won't come again. Xiaochen sighed. She asked me to tell you that it will be difficult to see you again. She went back. So soon. Zheng Xiaoquan was a little surprised and helpless at the same time. He also liked Tang Tang, but he also knew that it was impossible for him and Tang Tang to be together. He thought that Tang Tang would be with Xiaochen, but now it seemed that everything was destined. Tang Tang's appearance was restored, and what followed was Yu Xiaochuan's engagement. Zheng Xiaoquan was unable to change these things, and Xiaochen was even more powerless. He patted Xiaochen's shoulder and said, "Forget it. We are brothers in hardship. Yu Xiaochuan is really shameless." Xiaochen nodded. There were some things that he couldn't say to Zheng Xiaoquan. After all, the Zheng family was no longer one of the 9 great families. Xiaochen didn't want him to get too involved and affect the Zheng family. Early this morning, at the entrance of Songning No. 2 High School, Director Su walked quickly to the side of a small Buick SUV. The principal had already informed him that a big shot was going to transfer to No. 2 High School. He asked Director Su to welcome her and help her with the enrollment procedures. Although Director Su didn't know which family's child it was, with such a big show, could it be a relative of the school director's family? But since the principal had ordered, he still appeared here as soon as possible. Sure enough, he saw the Buick with the license plate number Song SS 55. It was rare to see a license plate with 3 letters at the beginning and 3 S's. Especially when the first regional letter was also S. And it became 4 S's, which was even rarer. If it weren't for the big shot that the principal had instructed, he would even think that it was a fake license plate. In fact, This kind of license plate was only issued to some very special departments and institutions. It was normal that ordinary people didn't recognize it. For example, the Warrior Guild and the Warrior Market Square also had license plates beginning with song S, but there wouldn't be so many S's. However, one thing was certain. Director Su knew that the person in the car beginning with song S was likely to be a martial artist. This was because he had seen this kind of license plate in several ancient martial arts families. Of course, only a private school director like him, who was funded by the Shin family, would recognize it. Others wouldn't. When the girl saw Director Su staring at her license plate, she slapped her forehead and remembered that she had forgotten to change it. She didn't drive the car into the school. Instead, she got out of the car, took out another license plate from the trunk, and changed it nimbly, as if she did this kind of thing often. In an instant, her license plate number became Song TRR 313, which was a very common license plate number. Director Su, who was standing at the side, was a little stunned, but he didn't panic. Instead, he waited quietly for the girl to finish her work before saying, "Are you Miss Song? The principal asked me to pick you up." "Hello, Director Su." The girl nodded, took out a stack of documents from her bag, and handed it to Director Su. "This is my enrollment file, thank you." "Oh, okay." Director Su saw that the girl didn't want to say more, so he didn't ask anymore. He took the documents and glanced at it. "The principal said that Miss Song wants to go to grade 12 class 1, right? Would you like to follow me now?" "Director Su, just call me Song Hwawu. I'm your student now, so don't call me Miss Song. I'm not used to it." The girl smiled at Director Su. So she was actually Song Hwawu. However, what was surprising was that Song Hwawu didn't wear a mask today. Her delicate face didn't have any makeup on, and her hair was casually combed at the back, just like a middle school student. If one didn't know about her feat that night, no one would think that she was actually a martial artist with Inner Force Stage 8. "Okay, Song Hwawu." Director Su nodded. "Then park the car. I'll take you to grade 3 class 1. "Thank you, Director Su." Song Hwawu jumped into the car and drove it to the parking lot. Then, she followed Director Su into the teaching building. Although Song Hwawu was very beautiful, she didn't attract too much attention, especially in grade 12. Everyone was busy with their morning studies, and no one would look around in the corridor. Director Su took Song Hwawu all the way to the entrance of grade 12 class 1. He nodded to the homeroom teacher, Miss Wang, who was presiding over the morning self-study session, and then personally sent Song Hwawu into the classroom. He coughed twice and said, "Everyone pay attention. I'll introduce a new classmate to you. I hope that everyone can help each other in the future. All right, student Song Hwawu, introduce yourself. Please welcome her with a round of applause." No one noticed Song Hwawu before, but no one could ignore her in the class. "Isn't she a goddess?" In an instant, the boys in the class were excited. However, Xiao Chen was stunned. How could it be her? There was no shortage of goddesses in the class. Cheng Minjing, Jin Beibei, and Tang Tang were all goddesses. However, Cheng Minjing was Lu Zhenming's target, and Jin Beibei was the little witch that even Lu Zhenming was afraid of. Therefore, they were not fated to be with each other. As for Tang Tang, the news that Yu Xiaochuan had resumed his engagement as soon as she became a goddess came out. The boys in the class couldn't touch these goddesses. As for this transfer student, she definitely had the potential to become a goddess as famous as Cheng Minjing, Jin Beibei, and Tang Tang. Warm applause burst out at that moment. "Hello everyone. My name is Song Hwawu, Hwawu from the Hwawu world. Nice to meet you." Song Hwawu smiled and said to her classmates, "Boss, this Song Hwawu is also quite pretty." The one who spoke was the skinny monkey, he said to Lu Zhenming. "So what? It seems that this Song Hwawu doesn't have a powerful background. Cheng Minjing is more suitable for me." Lu Zhenming said, "I have no interest in playing now. I pursued Cheng Minjing to revitalize the Cheng family. When I become the son-in-law of the Cheng family, the Lu family will get whatever they want in the future. Boss, your realm is really high. You're different. Then, I'll do it." Thin Monkey said with a wretched look. To be honest, he had planned to pursue Tang Tang before. However, He gave up after learning that the real identity of the beautiful girl was Tang Tang. She was the rival of Xiao Chun and Yu Xiaochuan. It had nothing to do with him. It's up to you. But you have to investigate her background first. Don't do anything reckless, Lu Zhiming reminded him. I know. Don't worry, Brother Ming. I won't do anything reckless. Thin Monkey rubbed his hands and looked eager. Songhua, will you sit? Miss Wang was about to arrange a seat for the new student. But at this time, Director Su said, just sit next to Xiao Chen. Tang Tang has dropped out of school and won't come to school in the future. That seat is empty. Oh, well, Song Huawu, you sit next to Xiao Chen. Miss Wang nodded. Since Director Su had arranged it, she naturally would not object. In fact, Director Su also wondered why the principal even told Song Huawu's seat this time. But he still did as he was told. Okay. Song Huawu smiled and nodded. Then she walked to Xiao Chen's seat. Because Director Su had pointed out that there was an empty seat next to Xiao Chen in that direction. No one felt anything wrong when Song Huawu walked over. However, Xiao Chen frowned. He had felt that something was amiss earlier. Song Huawu, wasn't she the deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau that I met the night before yesterday? But at that time, Song Huawu was masked and wearing a small black windbreaker, which was not the same as her current appearance. So, Xiao Chen initially wondered if it was a coincidence. After all, it was difficult for Xiao Chen to associate the girl dressed like a student in front of him with the Stage 8 Interforce warrior and the person who killed the Witch of Shishan. However, after listening to her voice, Xiao Chen began to have some doubts. Looking at her figure, it was quite similar. Now that she actually wanted to sit next to him, Xiao Chen suddenly understood that things were not that simple. This girl, maybe she came for him. Otherwise, why would she sit next to him? But what was there for her to pay attention to? She even gave up her position as the deputy leader of Group C and came to be a student and be his desk mate? If she had no purpose, Xiao Chen would not believe it. Chapter 289. F***CK. The thin monkey-like guy was very unhappy. She's sitting next to Xiao Chen again? Xiao Chen is really lucky, isn't he? Tang Tang just left. And here comes Song Huawu. Not only the thin monkey-like guy was envious, but all the boys in the class also looked at Song Huawu sitting next to Xiao Chen with envious eyes. Well, I won't disturb your class. After completing the task, Director Su didn't need to stay here anymore. He nodded to Miss Wang and turned to leave. Don't pay attention to the new student. Let's start the class now. At this time, the bell rang, and Miss Wang began the class. Xiao Chen, we meet again. Song Huawu, who had just sat down, didn't wait for Xiao Chen to speak. She turned her head, lowered her voice and said faintly. Xiao Chen patted his forehead. Sure enough, she came for him. This made Xiao Chen feel a little helpless. Song Huawu, what do you mean? Did I provoke you? Not only did you investigate me, but you also came to my school. Those who don't know might think that I did something to you, and you're looking for a father for your child. If you don't want to be beaten, keep your mouth shut. Song Huawu glared at Xiao Chen and said, Don't think that I don't know who you are. You're from the Xiao family in Songming, the useless young master of the Xiao family. Hee. I guess everyone doesn't know that he's a demonic cultivator, and he has the strength of a demonic cultivator at the 6th stage of internal strength. Well, what do you want? Xiao Chen suddenly lost his temper and looked at Song Huawu helplessly. To be honest, Song Huawu's threat really threatened him. Not bad. Song Huawu smiled proudly. Now tell me, where did you get the strength of a demonic cultivator? It stands to reason that the Xiao family in Songming is not a righteous sect, but it has nothing to do with the demonic sections. You're actually a demonic cultivator? I had a fortuitous encounter. There's an awesome soul in my body that's teaching me cultivation, Xiao Chen said with a shrug. Your soul is called Jiao Yazi, and you're cultivating the art of dragon mastery. You've been watching too many TV shows, haven't you? Song Huawu said angrily. If you don't want to say it, then forget it. I won't force you. However, you must have a connection with the Devil Gate. Don't think that I don't know that there is a person named Yi Xiaoye in your family. As for you, Your other identity is White Fox. You have completed a few missions in the Warrior Guild. Your partner is Yi Xiaoya. Will you still say that you have nothing to do with the demon sect? Holy shit. Xiao Chen stared at Song Huawu in shock. She was asking him to silence her. Who was this girl? How did he know so much? However, Xiao Chen was just thinking about it. He was still unable to defeat Song Huawu. Don't look at me like that. If I hadn't seen your true face, I wouldn't have suspected so much. Song Huawu said. The report I received that day was that the Witch of Shishan wanted to kill Zhang Tianhao's benefactor, White Fox, who helped him complete the mission. I happened to see you fighting with the Witch of Shishan, so I knew your identity. Others don't know. So that's how it is. I thought I exposed myself somewhere. Xiao Chen was relieved after hearing that. Song Huawu knew about this purely by chance. He didn't have time to wear a mask that day. Then will you keep it a secret for me? It depends on how cooperative you are. Song Huawu said. I suspect that the people of the demonic sects gathered in Songning City to hold a summit battle with the people of the righteous sections. The responsibility of our Supernatural Investigation Bureau is to avoid large-scale fights between the demonic sects and the righteous sections. Therefore, even if it's a summit battle, we have to control it within a controllable range. Once it gets out of control, it will be a bloodbath in the underworld. What does this have to do with me? Xiao Chen looked at Yi Xiaoya in confusion. I'm AF * King Hidden Demonic Cultivator. Others don't know about it, and no one wants to challenge me. You are familiar with Yi Xiaoya. You can inform me immediately if anything happens to her. You don't need to do anything else. Song Huawu said. How about it? Do you agree? What's the benefit if I agree? What's the harm if I don't agree? Xiao Chen asked after pondering for a moment. If you agree, we will be considered friends. If you want to join the Supernatural Investigation Bureau in the future, I can introduce you. Song Huawu said. It's fine if you don't agree. I can't kill people at will, although I will publicize your matter. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. You are threatening me. No, you are the one who asked me. Song Huawu said. If you choose to agree, then there will be nothing else. Besides, do you know how good it is to join the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? This is a symbol of a martial artist's identity, just like the people in the Warrior Guild and the Hong Chamber of Commerce. If ordinary people know your identity, they won't dare to provoke you easily. Those who can provoke me are special people, such as Old Monster Shishan. He doesn't care about your identity at all. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. This is true. Song Huawu had to admit. However, protecting the peace of the underworld is the ideal and ambition of our Supernatural Investigation Bureau's martial artists. This is a noble job. I'm sorry, I don't have that leisure. My father is missing, and many people are targeting me. My wife is about to be snatched away by others. I don't have such lofty ideals for the time being. Xiao Chen said. I can apply for the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to help you investigate your father's disappearance. Someone is targeting you. After you join, you won't be alone. You will have teammates to help you. As for your wife, I can't help you with this matter. Song Huawu said. Why don't you change your target? Change my target? Change yours? Xiao Chen asked. You can change, but I don't care if you can achieve this goal, Song Huawu said. You are forcing me to cooperate. Then, I will entrust my father's matter to you. Xiao Chen thought about it. Anyway, there was no harm in this matter. It might even be beneficial. At least, he could ask the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to help investigate his father's matter. Actually, in Xiao Chen's eyes, the Supernatural Investigation Department was a high and mighty mysterious existence. In his opinion, it would be good enough if the Xiao clan could come into contact with the Warrior Guild at most. As for the Supernatural Investigation Department, they had no relations with these aristocratic families at all. In other words, the structure of the Songning 9 families was not in the eyes of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Now, Xiao Chen didn't expect that he could still establish contact with the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. If he had their help, there might really be news about his father. Okay, for now, You are a non-staff member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team C. After you have made contributions or passed the assessment, I will help you apply to become an official member. Song Hwawu said. Keep an eye on Yi Xiaoya. Now is your first task. Keep an eye on Yi Xiaoya. You have to give me detailed information about Yi Xiaoya, right? What is her identity? Xiao Chen was actually a little surprised that Yi Xiaoya could actually attract the attention of Song Hwawu, the deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team C. It seemed that she was not as simple as a small character or a rogue cultivator. She was at least a disciple of a big demon sect, and should be a relatively core disciple. Otherwise, Song Hwawu wouldn't have gone through so much trouble to find Xiao Chen to keep an eye on her. You don't know? Then you don't need to know for the time being. Song Hwawu said. Actually, you don't need to know anything. You just need to write down who Yi Xiaoya is in contact with, whether she has been out for a long time, or if there is any abnormal behavior. You don't need to do anything. Why does it feel like we are playing infernal affairs? She and I are teammates. Xiao Chen felt that it was not a good thing to do. We are teammates now, Song Hwawu said. Song Hwawu said. Help me make up an excuse. Ask me to visit your house, and then I'll test Yi Xiaoya. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. I say, Deputy Leader Song, I am now living under someone else's roof. Can I still invite you to my house? What are you thinking? You think too highly of my status. That's why I asked you to make up an excuse. If you can make the decision, why would you need to make up an excuse? Song Hwawu asked. Xiao Chen was depressed. Let me think about it. Cousin Menjing, your danger alert has just been lifted, and now it's orange alert again. Jean Bebe said. Look, the pretty girl who just transferred to our school is having a good time with my cousin-in-law again. What a fickle guy. Tang Tang has just left, and he is already having a good time with her. I really feel sorry for Tang Tang. Cheng Menjing glanced at Xiao Chen and snorted, somewhat annoyed. Yes. That's why I suggest that cousin Menjing should talk to my cousin-in-law and let him know who his real fiancé is. Jean Bebe said. Who is it? Cheng Menjing asked. Cousin Menjing, you? Jean Bebe said. Nonsense. Cheng Menjing glared at Jean Bebe. What's the relationship between him and me? I think you are the one who is anxious, aren't you? Yes, I am anxious for cousin Menjing too. Jean Bebe nodded, pretending to be serious. Cheng Menjing did not say anything else. In fact, Cheng Menjing did not think that Xiao Chen was such a lascivious and superficial man. Why was he having a good time with his new deskmate after Tang Tang left? Cheng Menjing found it hard to believe that Xiao Chen could be so open-minded. However, this was the truth. Cheng Menjing had no choice but to believe it. After the first class, Lu Zhenming waved at Xiao Chen, hinting for Xiao Chen to go to him. Xiao Chen was slightly dazed. Lu Zhenming had been quiet for a few days. What was he up to? Xiao Chen had been in low spirits because of Tang Tang's incident. Therefore, he had neglected the guy, and even almost forgotten about him. What are you doing? Lu Zhenming, can't you see that I am busy chatting with a pretty girl? Xiao Chen said. Lu Zhenming was stunned. Chatting with a pretty girl? Did Xiao Chen fall in love with Song Hwawu again? He came here this time to ask Xiao Chen what Cheng Menjing liked. Chapter 290. Lu Zhenming wasn't invited to Cheng Menjing's birthday. However, because the Lu family was a new aristocratic family, Lu Siwen still received an invitation from Cheng Zhongming. So he planned to take Lu Zhenming with him. Because of the rush, Lu Zhenming didn't prepare a gift. He planned to go out to buy it at noon. So he wanted to ask the popular follower of Cheng Menjing to see what Cheng Menjing liked, so that he could prescribe the right medicine. He heard that Chao Yuliang would also be there at night, so at the very least, he couldn't lose to Chao Yuliang. The second thing was to help Skinny Monkey talk to Xiao Chen and see if he could help matchmake Skinny Monkey and Song Hwawu. At the same time, he could also find out about Song Hwawu's background. After all, Xiao Chen was Song Hwawu's deskmate, so it was convenient for him to do these things. However, he didn't expect that Xiao Chen also seemed to be interested in Song Hwawu. In this way, Lu Zhenming really couldn't say anything. He couldn't stop Xiao Chun from being with anyone. What's more, he was happy to see Xiao Chun with someone else. At least, Xiao Chun wouldn't have a relationship with Cheng Minjing. Now Tang Tang was gone. If Xiao Chun didn't find a substitute, and something happened between him and Cheng Minjing after he went home, then there would be nothing for him. Therefore, if Xiao Chun shifted his target to Song Huawu, it would be a good thing. However, Skinny Monkey could only be wronged. This guy didn't have that kind of fate. What's the matter? Xiao Chun looked at Lu Jinming, who was meditating, and asked impatiently. Ah yes. Here's the thing. Isn't today Cheng Minjing's birthday? My family has also been invited to congratulate them. Tell me, what gift should I give them tonight? Lu Jinming asked. Gifts? How would I know? Just buy whatever you want, Xiao Chun said. Can you give me some suggestions? Lu Jinming said. Don't worry. I won't treat you badly in the future. You know our relationship. You and Chao Yuliang have a grudge against each other, but you always help him. Can you help me now? What do I get out of helping you? Xiao Chun asked. What kind of benefits do you want? Lu Jinming asked. I like ancient jade recently, but it's not only expensive, but it's also hard to find. Isn't your family a gangster? Is there any way to get some illegal goods? Xiao Chun asked. Ancient jade? There should be no problem. Lu Jinming said. I may not be able to get you cash, but I can find ancient jade for you. My father likes to be cultured. He has collected a lot of antique jade. Oh, that's fine. I'll give you a suggestion. Why don't you send flowers? Xiao Chun said casually. Send flowers? Is that okay? Isn't it too ordinary? Lu Jinming was stunned. Think about it. With Minjing's family background, what else does she lack? Xiao Chun said seriously. If you send other things, she may not be interested. But it's romantic to send flowers on her birthday. That's right. Lu Jinming nodded after listening. Young Master Xiao Chun, you're awesome. You hit the point at once. Okay, I'll prepare some flowers. If there's nothing else, I'm leaving. As Xiao Chun said this, he got up and left. In fact, he was just talking nonsense about flowers. With Mrs. Character, she wouldn't care what Lu Jinming sent her. In the blink of an eye, it was time for school to end in the evening. What surprised Xiao Chun was that Song Huawu was actually studying the whole day. She was reading books nonstop. Could it be that she really came here to study? Not just to keep an eye on me, but also to keep an eye on Yi Xiaoya? Xiao Chun, what are you going to do tonight? Song Huawu asked. Tonight? It's Cheng Minjing's birthday. I'm going to be her attendant, said Xiao Chun. Oh, forget it, said Song Huawu. What are you going to do? Asked Xiao Chun. Nothing. I want to go to your house. Let's talk about it another day, said Song Huawu. Puffed, I say, Deputy Team Leader Song. You just met me on the first day, and you want to follow me home? What identity? What reason? Even if Yi Xiaoya doesn't doubt it, Miss will doubt it, right? Xiao Chun was a little speechless. This Song Huawu is really impatient. Oh, I've already thought about it. Just say that I'm your girlfriend. Song Huawu said. This way, it's logical to go to your house. Ahem. I just met you on the first day, and you're already my girlfriend? What kind of development speed is this? Is it godly speed? Do you think Miss has 0 IQ like you? Said Xiao Chun helplessly. You're the one with 0 IQ. Haven't you heard of love at first sight? Song Huawu glared at Xiao Chun. How about this? You chase me for a few days, and then I agree. You take me to your house. I don't have the time. Xiao Chun said. I'm very busy all day. How about I chase you for a few days, and then you agree? Said Song Huawu. Stop messing around. I'm leaving. Xiao Chun picked up his bag and got up to leave. That's a deal. You're now an off-staff member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. You must cooperate with me. This is an order and a task, said Song Huawu. Xiao Chun ignored her. He went out of the classroom and went to the parking lot to wait for Jean Bebe and Miss Xiao. It didn't take long for them to arrive. You seem to hit it off with Song Huawu. You've been chatting all day? Miss Xiao said indifferently. That's great. Tang Tang just left, and you changed your target again. I'm so sad for her. What are you talking about? She just came here and is not familiar with the school. I'll introduce her. Xiao Chun said. Well, get in the car. When is your birthday party? Let's not be late. It's 6:30. It's still early. Chung Minjing and Jean Bebe got in the car. When we pass by the pharmacy, can I buy some medicine first? Xiaochen was going to buy medicine again today, and he didn't know how much it would cost. Okay. Miss Xiao did not object. Xiaochen drove to the door of Little Hong's pharmacy and got out of the car. Miss Xiao and Jean Bebe naturally did not go with him, so Xiaochen entered the pharmacy alone. Brother Xiaochen, are you here to play with me again? When Hongzhu saw Xiaochen, she ran to greet him warmly and winked at him. I'm here to buy medicine. Grandpa LV is here too. Xiaochen nodded to LV Fangzhen behind the counter. I've changed the prescription this time. Oh, you've changed the prescription? LV Fangzhen immediately became interested. Can I have a look? Yes. Xiaochen did not hide anything. He came here to buy medicine and did not want to hide anything. So he handed the prescription that he had copied according to the Elder Heaven Ancestor's description to LV Fangzhen. LV Fangzhen hurriedly caught it and looked at it carefully. However, Hongzhu pouted and glared at Xiaochen unhappily. Hey, why are you ignoring me? You don't want me now that you have a new person? How can that be? Xiaochen smiled bitterly. I'm just greeting Grandpa LV. Why are you looking for me? When are you going to find me another opportunity to make money? Hongzhu was addicted to making money. The Hongying team did not have much funds because the salaries of the Hongying team members were paid by the Hong Chamber of Commerce and the Warriors Market Square. The Hongying team did not have to fork out extra money. Although the Hongying team also had some funds every year, it was not much. Hongzhu naturally would not let go of the opportunity to make some extra money because she, the leader of the Hongying team, was not rich. Make money? Oh, you mean the illegal medicine? That's something that can only be found by chance. I guess that's the only time, Xiaochen said. Boring. I thought you had a way. Hongzhu was a little disappointed. Little Hongzhu, if you need money, you can ask for it from home. No one won't give it to you. LV Fangzhen said with a smile. That's different. Hongzhu shook her head and did not say much. In fact, she did not want the Hongying team to rely on the help of her family to develop. In the past, the people in charge of the Hongying team were also self-reliant. Hongzhu did not want to be worse than them. Of course, the Hongying team's money channels were usually not open and above board. There were no records of the previous leaders, so Hongzhu could only rely on herself to explore. It was not easy to have a pleasant cooperation with Xiaochen. She did not expect it to end so soon. Xiaochen did not know what the two of them were playing at. After LV Fangzhen looked at Xiaochen's prescription, she had a headache. She could not understand it at all. Last time, she could roughly make some judgments, but today's was completely different. It was even more incomprehensible. He could not see the pharmacology and medicinal properties of this prescription at all. The main reason was that there were many rare medicinal materials, such as the heart-devouring exquisite grass, which was a very rare medicinal material. This made LV Fangzhen really unable to understand the meaning of this prescription. Grab one. LV Fangzhen asked. Yes. Xiaochen nodded and said, Sorry to trouble Medicine Master LV. Let me keep the prescription, and I will give you a set of medicinal materials as usual. How about that? LV Fangzhen held the prescription and asked. Okay. Xiaochen would not refuse. Only LV Fangzhen could do such a good thing. If it were someone else, they would have secretly copied it themselves. How could he say it so openly? Don't worry, I will still study it myself. If you don't agree, I will definitely not spread it. LV Fangzhen added and promised. I believe you. Xiaochen had no reason not to believe him. If he could not do it, he could not say it. There was no need to make a solemn promise again. Hongzhu was a little unhappy. Old man LV, you lost money again. Deduct it from my salary. LV Fangzhen smiled and said. Deduct the 3 million from before from my salary too. Hehe okay. Hongzhu agreed without thinking. Deduct it and give it to me directly. You're so greedy. You didn't bring it with you when you were born, and you didn't bring it with you when you're dead. Why do you need so much money? LV Fangzhen didn't seem to care at all, but judging from his understated attitude, His annual salary was probably not a small amount. Otherwise, not only would an ordinary person's salary be deducted, but it would also be reduced to a negative figure. LV Fangzhen prepared the medicinal materials and gave them to Xiaochen. Then he said, "Little friend Xiao, are you free today? There is a medicinal material in your pharmacy that I want to discuss with you. Of course, it is just for research." Chapter 291. Today, I'm going to a friend's birthday party. The car is still outside. Xiaochen said with some embarrassment. In fact, he knew nothing about the uses of medicinal herbs. It was all told to him by the elder heaven ancestor. "Oh, is it convenient for you to take me around? I'll take it as a ride. Just drop me off wherever you go. I'll take a walk around before coming back." LV Fangzhen had learned a lot about Xiaochen from Hongzhu, especially about the death of the Sun family members on horseback. This made LV Fangzhen feel that Xiaochen's medical attainments should be very high. He was a child of an ordinary family, and had never had any contact with the demonic sects since he was a child. If any demonic sect really had an outstanding talent like Xiaochen, they would have openly trained him long ago. It was impossible for Hongzhu not to know, but now, Xiaochen had been a nobody until he was chased out of the family. He had never had any contact with anyone. Therefore, according to LV Fangzhen and Hongzhu's analysis, Xiaochen should not be a disciple of some demonic sect. He should be a self-taught individual cultivator. If that was the case, then Xiaochen's value would be quite great. Self-taught. Not only did he have some achievements in martial arts, but he was also very good in the medical field. This kind of talent was exactly what the Hong Chamber of Commerce needed to befriend. It was not surprising that an outstanding disciple could be produced with the accumulation of natural treasures from large families and sects, and the guidance of famous teachers. However, such people often had limited achievements because there was no pressure and no innovation. Although it could not be said that they had no achievements, there were not many who could really reach the peak. However, it was different for individual cultivators. Generally, individual cultivators who had killed their way to the peak had their own unique points. In particular, LV Fangzhen's research on medicinal herbs had reached the level of obsession. Therefore, he did not hesitate to lower his status to befriend Xiaochen. Of course, Xiaochen might not know his identity, and LV Fangzhen did not introduce him too much. If he introduced him too much, it would seem that he was suppressing Xiaochen with his status. This was not what LV Fangzhen wanted to see. After all, in his opinion, Xiaochen's medical attainments might not be inferior to his. "This all right?" Xiaochen nodded. Since the other party had put it this way, it wouldn't be good for him to refuse. "Let's go then." LV Fangzhen was very happy. He quickly left the counter and followed Xiaochen out of the pharmacy. Hongzhu shook his head helplessly as he watched them leave. "It's true. Old man Lu takes over Xiaochen the moment he arrives. I can't even say a few words to him. No, I have to think of a way to get rid of him." Cheng Menjing was surprised to see Xiaochen walk out of the pharmacy with an old man and get into the car. She and Yushu sat in the back, while LV Fangzhen sat in the front passenger seat. "This is a pharmacist who helps me get medicine from the pharmacy. It's on the way, so I gave him a lift," Xiaochen explained. "Oh," Cheng Minjing nodded and did not say much. After all, she was a kind person. She was very willing to help others. Xiaochen started the car and drove in the direction of the Cheng family. The Cheng family carried too many of Xiaochen's memories. In the past, when his father Xiaofeng was still alive, Xiaofeng would bring Xiaochen to visit the Cheng family during festivals. At that time, Xiaochen's identity was Cheng Minjing's fiancé. Of course, although the two families were in-laws, the Xiao family was weaker and the Cheng family was stronger. Therefore, it was the Xiao family who visited the Cheng family, not the Cheng family, who came to visit the Xiao family. This situation continued until Xiaofeng and Cheng Zhongqian went missing. After that, the Cheng family and the Xiao family cut off contact, and Xiaochen never visited the Cheng family again. After that, Xiaochen was kicked out of the Xiao family. "Little friend Xiao, you said that you used a firewood flower leaf in that medicinal herb. What is this medicinal herb used for?" LV Fangzhen asked. LV Fangzhen's words pulled Xiaochun back from his thoughts. He shook his head. When he appeared in the Cheng family again, his identity was different. He used to be half a master, but now he was a servant. Firewood flower leaf. Xiaochun was stunned. Then he heard the voice of the elder heaven ancestor. What an idiot! You don't know this? Firewood flower leaf and myelin withered grass together can accelerate blood circulation, which means it can accelerate the absorption of medicinal herbs. Xiaochun repeated the words of the elder heaven ancestor to LV Fangzhen. Ah! After listening to Xiaochun's words, LV Fangzhen suddenly understood. He patted his head and said, Yes, why didn't I think of it? I thought that the myelin withered grass and the bitter fruit in the prescription can strengthen and consolidate the devil chi of a devil cultivator. It turns out that it is with the firewood flower leaf. LV Fangzhen couldn't be blamed for this. The bitter fruit was generally used by devil cultivators to assist in their cultivation, and the bitter fruit and myelin withered grass together were used to strengthen and consolidate the devil chi. In other words, the devil chi that was cultivated every day would be consolidated into the body. In his opinion, Xiaochun was also a devil cultivator, so these two herbs were naturally in the same group. As for what the firewood flower leaf was for, he naturally couldn't figure it out. In fact, according to the normal thinking of a pharmacist, he would split the medicinal herbs in the prescription into several groups, each group having a different effect, and then mix them together. However, there were many combinations of medicinal herbs. Sometimes they could be separated and understood, and sometimes they couldn't be separated. It was possible that one more medicinal herb could be mixed together, and the effect would be completely different. Therefore, the most difficult thing to do was to find a detoxification prescription. Xiaochun was not a devil cultivator, but a true cultivator. If LV Fangzhen used the knowledge of a devil cultivator to find detoxification medicinal herbs, it would be a big mistake. It was estimated that many things would become distorted. Elder Heaven Ancestor, why are you telling him this? Aren't you afraid that he will know the use of this prescription? Xiaochun asked in his heart with some doubt. Without the heaven's fortune battle art, it's useless to tell him. Drink him to death. Elder Heaven Ancestor said indifferently. Besides, what I said was the most superficial effect. This prescription of mine is the combination of all the medicinal herbs to bring out the greatest effect. He has already separated it, so it's not very useful. These things are all in the medical books. It's just that he didn't pay attention to them. What I just said, as long as one has a certain degree of medical knowledge, they will know. Xiaochun was a little speechless. So Elder Heaven Ancestor was actually this cunning. However, thinking about it, Elder Heaven Ancestor was trying to distract LV Fangzhen, so that he wouldn't put all his attention on the prescription. Therefore, he explained it to him, misleading him into another way of thinking, so that he wouldn't suspect anything. Just a few words and I'm suddenly enlightened. It seems that many of my previous judgments were wrong. I'll go back and regroup them. LV Fangzhen seemed to be very happy. After getting Xiaochun's answer, he figured out a lot of things and stopped asking questions. Instead, he fell into deep thought. Thinking about it, LV Fangzhen was immersed in the fun of interpreting the prescription. If Xiaochun told him everything, he would lose the fun of interpreting the prescription by himself. Cheng Menjing and Jin Beibei were not surprised at all about the conversation between Xiaochun and LV Fangzhen. Xiaochun was very good at medical knowledge. They all knew that old Master Jin's injury was cured by Xiaochun, and so was Tang Tang. Therefore, what Xiaochun and LV Fangzhen talked about could only be regarded as normal. The car went all the way to the Cheng family's manor. The Cheng family did not live in the city, but in the suburbs of the city. They bought a piece of land with an elegant environment and built a huge manor, which occupied the largest area among all the aristocratic families in Songning. However, the Cheng family was the first aristocratic family in Songning. The car drove all the way to the gate of the Cheng family's manor. However, according to the rules, the cars of the guests were not allowed to drive directly into the Cheng family's manor. Only the cars approved by the Cheng family could enter. Xiao Chen parked the car directly in the parking lot at the gate of the manor. Then, he got out of the car with LV Fengzhen, Cheng Minjing and Jin Beibei. LV Fengzhen was a little surprised that Xiao Chen came here. He was not a native of Songning, and did not know much about the aristocratic families in Songning. At present, he only knew about the Xiao family because of Xiao Chen. Therefore, even if the Cheng family was the first aristocratic family in Songning, it was nothing in LV Fengzhen's eyes. Xiao Chen, your classmate's family seems to be very rich and powerful, LV Fengzhen said. It seems that the environment here is good. It's not bad. Xiao Chen did not know how to explain Cheng Minjing's identity. Was she his ex-fiancée? The current mistress? LV Fengzhen had nothing to do, so he followed Xiao Chen to have a look around. Anyway, his purpose of coming here was to build a relationship with Xiao Chen. The answers to the questions just now made LV Fengzhen feel that Xiao Chen was not a simple person. He was an expert in medical arts. Therefore, he wanted to build a relationship with Xiao Chen even more. Cheng Mingqiang watched Cheng Minjing, Jin Beibei, and Xiao Chen walk over from afar. A cold light flashed in his eyes. When they approached, Cheng Mingqiang said warmly, Sister Beibei, I've been waiting for you for a long time. The car is ready. Go and get changed. The birthday party is about to begin. Oh, okay. Cheng Minjing and Jin Beibei got into a car under Cheng Mingqiang's guidance, but Xiao Chen stayed behind. Because they could not take Xiao Chen with them to get changed, Cheng Minjing simply said, Xiao Chen, go in and find a place to wait for me. Okay. You don't have to worry about me, Xiao Chen said casually. After all, he was just a follower today, not an honored guest. Cheng Minjing and Jin Beibei left in the Cheng family's car. Xiao Chen was about to enter the manor when Cheng Mingqiang stopped him and said coldly, Did I allow you to go in? What do you do? Xiao Chen was slightly dazed. It did not occur to him that Cheng Mingqiang would suddenly pick on him. Although Xiao Chen could slap the brat away easily, it was his mistress's birthday today. Xiao Chen did not want to cause any trouble. Therefore, he simply said casually, Cheng Mingqiang, is there anything wrong with your eyes? You don't even recognize me? Chapter 292. Yes, but I don't know what you do. Cheng Mingqiang said. You used to be my sister's fiancé, but not anymore. I don't pay attention to you. Who knows what you do now? Are you here to freeload? Or are you a beggar? I was brought here by your sister. We came together just now. You saw it. She asked me to go in and wait for her. Xiao Chen was not angry. Instead, he found it a little funny. Why did Cheng Mingqiang make things difficult for him? Looking at Cheng Mingqiang, it seemed that he owed him a lot of money. Did this guy hate him so much? Xiao Chen really couldn't understand how he had offended him. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. If you are here to attend the banquet, then show me your invitation. Everyone who comes here has an invitation. Look, those who enter the banquet are all holding invitations. Cheng Mingqiang pointed to the place where several disciples of the Cheng family were being interrogated not far away. Sure enough, everyone who came was holding an invitation in their hand. I say, young man, why are you so unreasonable? He clearly came with the people inside, and he even spoke to them. Why didn't you let him in? Aren't you deliberately making things difficult for him? Lu Fengzhen, who was standing on the side, couldn't stand it anymore. He couldn't help but explain to Xiao Chen. Lu Fengzhen really couldn't figure it out. With Xiao Chen's medical skills, he was more than qualified to be a pharmacist in any martial artist's market. They were all high and mighty existences that had followers. It wouldn't be a problem even if he went to the martial artists' market's headquarters. Even if he went directly to the Hong's Chamber of Commerce, it wouldn't be a problem with Lu Fengzhen's recommendation. But now he was standing at the door and being made difficult by a young man who looked much younger than Xiao Chen, which made it difficult for Lu Fengzhen. Of course, he had intended to make friends with Xiao Chen, so when Cheng Mingqiang made things difficult for Xiao Chen, he spoke a few words for Xiao Chen. I say, old man, what does it have to do with you? Cheng Mingqiang glared at him and said, Xiao Chen, did you bring this person to beg with you? Scram to the side and beg for food. Don't be an eyesore here. You You. Lu Fengzhen did not expect Cheng Mingqiang to scold him. Not only did he call him an old man, but he also called him a beggar. No one had ever said that to Apothecary Lu in his entire life. Putting aside the fact that he was respected no matter where he went, even if they did not know him, they could not speak so rudely to him, right? What about you? Old chicken 8 lanterns. Don't you know how to keep a low profile when you're here to freeload? Who do you think you are? Cheng Mingqiang sneered disdainfully. In his opinion, what kind of person could come together with Xiao Qinbi? LV Fengzhen was so angry that his face turned red. His chest heaved up and down, and he could not say a word. Trembling, he pointed at Cheng Mingqiang and said after a long while, Uncultured. Old fart, what does that have to do with you? Scram to the side and beg for food. The distinguished guest will be here soon. Don't block the door. The one who spoke was Cheng Zhongfan. He had been watching Xiao Chun being humiliated coldly, and had no intention of intervening. It was not until LV Fengzhen said that Cheng Mingqiang was uncultured that he came over and scolded him unhappily. Saying that Cheng Mingqiang was uncultured was tantamount to saying that he was not strict enough with his son. Of course, Cheng Zhongfan would not be happy about that. Xiao Chun was also a little surprised. He did not expect that Cheng Mingqiang and his son would be like mad dogs. Not only did they mock him, but they also scolded LV Fengzhen like crazy. Although he did not know LV Fengzhen's specific identity, from his way of talking, Xiao Chun felt that he was not inferior to Medicine Master Sunday. It was not a good thing for such a person to be offended by the Cheng family. It was really not a good thing for the Cheng family. However, without waiting for LV Fengzhen and Xiao Chun to say anything, Cheng Mingqiang suddenly pushed LV Fengzhen away and rushed forward. Cheng Mingqiang also followed closely behind. Medicine Master Sun, Brother Xiao, you are here. Cheng Zhongfan greeted them with a smile on his face. In fact, for Xiao Hai, Cheng Zhongfan did not need to personally greet him at the door. Even if the Cheng family wanted to unite with the Xiao family through marriage, there was no need to do so. Who asked the Xiao family to be in decline? However, he heard that the Xiao family and the Sun family had cooperated. This time, Xiao Hai brought Medicine Master Sun with him. Then, Cheng Zhongfan had to pay attention to it. In Songning City, no martial arts family would ignore the existence of Medicine Master Sunday. Practicing martial arts was inseparable from all kinds of medicine and pills. The Cheng family was no exception. Therefore, Cheng Zhongfan personally came to greet Sun Yukai. Medicine Master Sun walked in front arrogantly. In fact, Xiao Hai had no choice. Although the cooperation between the Xiao family and the Sun family was dominated by the Xiao family, because of Medicine Master Sun's special status, even Xiao Hai had to give way to Medicine Master Sunday. Medicine Master Sun was about to say a few words when he suddenly saw LV Fengzhen not far away. At this moment, he even suspected that his eyes were playing tricks on him, and that he had seen the wrong person. However, when he blinked his eyes and realized that the person was really LV Fengzhen, Medicine Master Sun's body suddenly trembled. He did not care about Cheng Zhongfan, who came to greet him, and quickly ran in the direction of LV Fengzhen. Seeing Medicine Master Sun quicken his pace, Cheng Zhongfan was stunned. He did not expect Medicine Master Sun to attach so much importance to him, and actually greet him quickly. He was immediately overjoyed. It seemed that even Medicine Master Sun had to show some respect to the Cheng family's status. However, what Cheng Zhongfan did not expect was that when he reached out to shake hands with Medicine Master Sun, Medicine Master Sun brushed past him without stopping. This caused Cheng Zhongfan to be a little dumbfounded. What the hell was going on? What was going on? He quickly turned around and saw Medicine Master Sun striding to the old man from before. With a respectful face, he wanted to reach out his hand, but did not dare to. He just nodded and bowed. Medicine Master LV, it really is you. I did not expect to meet you here. I am so happy. LV Fengzhen was a pharmacist of the Hong's Chamber of Commerce, and also the chief pharmacist of the Warriors Market headquarters. He had also given training lectures to pharmacists of various branches of the Warriors Market. Medicine Master Sun had also attended LV Fengzhen's lectures, So he regarded himself as a student in front of LV Fangzhen. In fact, it was also an honor to be LV Fangzhen's student. LV Fangzhen was so angry that he did not say anything when he saw Medicine Master Sunday. He just breathed heavily. Medicine Master LV, what's wrong with you? Are you suffering from heat stroke? Medicine Master Sun did not know what had happened before. Judging from LV Fangzhen's appearance, he seemed to be suffering from heat stroke. LV Fangzhen pointed to the manor behind him and asked, "Whose house is this?" "This is the Chung family, the head of the Songning family, the Chung family." Medicine Master Sun hurriedly explained. "Medicine Master LV, what are you doing here? Are you also here for the birthday party?" "The Chung family? Never heard of it." LV Fangzhen was really angry today. He sneered and said, Good, very good. The Chung family, right?" "Yes." Medicine Master Sun nodded in confusion. He did not know what had happened. Chung Mingqiang was a little surprised when Medicine Master Sun ignored his father and him. When he turned around, he missed the scene of Medicine Master Sun nodding and bowing. He was far away, and Medicine Master Sun's voice was not loud, so he did not hear what Medicine Master Sun had said. However, LV Fangzhen's voice was not low because he was angry. Chung Mingqiang was immediately unhappy when he heard that he had never heard of the Chung family. He pointed at LV Fangzhen and scolded, "Old man, why are you still here? Don't embarrass yourself here. Get out of here. Can't you see that there is a distinguished guest here?" "Huh?" Medicine Master Sun was a little dumbfounded. This was Chung Zhongfan's son? Had he taken the wrong medicine? How dare he talk to LV Fangzhen like this? Chung Zhongfan turned around first. He had already noticed that something was wrong. When he heard his son talking nonsense, he quickly scolded, "Mingqiang, shut up." "Ah." Chung Mingqiang was stunned, not knowing what was going on. "Medicine Master Sun, may I ask who this old man is?" Chung Zhongfan felt a little pain in his heart. It seemed that he had made a subjective mistake. He saw this old man walking over with Xiao Chun, so he subconsciously thought that he was someone brought by Xiao Chun. However, after seeing Medicine Master Sun's attitude toward him, it seemed that it was not that simple. "This is Medicine Master LV Fangzhen, from the Warriors Market headquarters. He is also my teacher." Medicine Master Sun introduced him loudly, as if LV Fangzhen being his teacher was an incomparably honorable thing. "Ah." Chung Zhongfan suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. Medicine Master from the Warriors Market headquarters? And Medicine Master Sun's teacher? It was over. How could it be good to offend the Medicine Master from the Warriors Market headquarters? Although the Chung family was the head of the aristocratic families in Songning City, it was only limited to Songning City. Outside of Songning City, it was nothing. What kind of high and mighty existence was the Medicine Master from the Warriors Market headquarters? It was a great honor for the Chung family to condescend to attend Chung Minjing's birthday party. How could he say that he was here to beg? Chung Zhongfan's vision darkened, and he almost fell to the ground. Chung Mingqiang was also a little dumbfounded. His face was full of shock. He naturally knew the significance of the Medicine Master from the Warriors Market headquarters. He did not believe it. He did not believe it. "Medicine Master Sun, did you make a mistake?" He came with Xiao Chun. Chung Mingqiang struggled on his deathbed. He hoped that Medicine Master Sun had made a mistake. "Chung Zhongfan, is there something wrong with your child's head? Do you need me to treat him?" Medicine Master Sun said coldly. Normally, Medicine Master Sun would not have mocked Chung Mingqiang for his sake. However, in front of Medicine Master Lu, anyone could make a choice. "Mingqiang, shut up." Chung Zhongfan slapped Chung Mingqiang, making him see stars. This slap was made with inner strength. One could imagine how angry Chung Zhongfan was at this moment. After slapping Chung Mingqiang, Chung Zhongfan ignored him. He turned his head to look at Lu Fangzhen and said politely, "I'm sorry, Medicine Master Lu. I was careless. I thought you were with Xiao Chun. You don't know, but Xiao Chun and my family have some conflicts, so..." Chapter 293. I don't care if there's a grudge or not. There's something wrong with that guy's attitude. Why is this guy called Xiao Chun? Xiao Chun's friend. Who is this guy's sister? asked him to go in and wait for her. This guy obviously saw it, but he made the decision to stop him. What's going on? I just couldn't stand it, and said a few words of justice, but he scolded me so harshly. LV Fangjin shook his head and said, "Come on, I was just walking around and saw such an ugly family. I can't afford to offend them, but I can at least hide from them." LV Fangjin turned around and was about to leave. "Don't wait, Medicine Master LV, it's our fault. Please come to our house and give us a chance to make amends." Chung Zhongfan was scared. If he offended Medicine Master LV, his family would be blacklisted by the headquarter of the Warriors Market. Then, no matter which city the Chung family went to, they would be blacklisted by the Warriors Market. "No, I won't lower myself to your level. You don't have to be afraid. I won't target you because of this." Medicine Master LV waved his hand and quickly turned around to leave. "Teacher, wait for me. I have some questions to ask you." Medicine Master Sun hurried to catch up with LV Fangjin. He didn't even say hello to Xiao Hai and Chung Zhongfan. In his opinion, if he could successfully build a relationship with LV Fangjin and become his disciple, the Sun family's meteoric rise would be just around the corner. Even without the help of the Xiao family, as long as the Sun family could build a relationship with LV Fangjin, it would be hard for them not to prosper. He was a medicine master himself, so he knew the power of a medicine master, especially when Medicine Master LV was a medicine master of the Warriors Market, which was a far cry from his position. However, Xiao Hai was not angry. After all, Medicine Master LV's identity was there. It was reasonable for Medicine Master Sun to go and flatter him. However, Chung Zhongfan's face was dark and uncertain. In fact, he didn't know whether LV Fangjin's words were true or not. If LV Fangjin wanted to target the Chung family, it would be impossible for the Chung family to keep the title of number 1, even though the Chung family was the number 1 aristocratic family in Songning. Although it was not a matter of time for them to be eliminated, once they were suppressed, it would be impossible for the Chung family to keep the title of number 1. Not far away, a car was parked there. The people in the car watched the scene quietly. However, when the people in the car heard LV Fangjin's identity, they could no longer sit still. "Jingxian, you go to the banquet by yourself later. Dad will go talk to pharmacist Lu and see if we can make friends," Shen Jinghao said. Oh, Shen Jingshuan's eyes were fixed on Xiaochen. As for Lu Yaoshi, Shen Jingxian didn't care much about him. She got out of the car and walked toward the door. Meanwhile, Shen Jinghao turned the car around and chased after LV Fangjin and Sun Yukai, who were not far away. "Xiaochen, why are you here?" Xiao Hai pretended to have just seen Xiaochen and asked. "Second, Uncle Xiao, nice to meet you. I came with Cheng Minjing. I'm her follower, so naturally, I have to help her out at the banquet." Xiaochen didn't manage to say second uncle out loud in the end. Instead, he greeted Xiao Hai politely. "Oh, okay, let's go in together." Xiao Hai nodded and didn't say much. His expression was as cold as ever, as if Xiaochen wasn't a member of his family. Xiao Xiao glanced at Xiaochen and looked away in disgust, as if she was unhappy that she had such a useless brother. Chung Zhongfan and Chung Mingqiang didn't have the mood to make things difficult for Xiaochen at this time. Although LV Fangjin said that he wouldn't target the Chung family, who could guarantee that? What if LV Fangjin was angry when he went back and attacked the Chung family? But no matter what, although it was annoying, they had to endure it first. There were so many guests at night, and they couldn't let them watch the show. Chung Zhongfan planned to wait until the evening to report to Old Master Chung, and then the family would have a meeting to discuss countermeasures. Xiaochen also saw Shen Jingxian coming from not far away, so he said, "It's Shen Jingxian. I will wait for her." Chung Mingqiang couldn't wait to see Xiaochen. He wanted to humiliate Xiaochen before, but he lost face in front of Xiaochen, which made him very unhappy. Out of sight, out of mind. At the same time, he was thinking about how to make a fool of Xiaochen again. Chung Zhongfan didn't comment, but Xiao Hai looked at Xiaochen with some disappointment. Xiao Hai also knew that Xiaochen liked Shen Jingxian before. But what was Xiaochen's identity now? And what was Shen Jingshuan's identity? Xiaochen still had fantasies about her. Wasn't he looking for trouble? Moreover, Shen Jingxian was already Qin Jinping's fiancée. Even if Xiao Chun hadn't been driven out of the family, it would be impossible, not to mention that he had been driven out of the family. Xiao Hai hoped that Xiao Chun would pull himself together, but when he saw Xiao Chun and understood Xiao Chun before, he realized that Xiao Chun didn't have much of an outstanding performance after he left the family. Other than being able to endure a bit of hardship, there wasn't much improvement. However, from Xiao Hai's point of view, even if Xiao Chun went to talk to Shen Jingxian wouldn't refuse. Her personality was like that. As expected, Shen Jingxian smiled and greeted Xiao Chun. On the surface, Shen Jingxian was still very normal, no different from usual. Xiao Chun, why are you here alone? Where are Minjing and the others? They went ahead to change into their formal wear. Let's go in and wait for them together, Xiao Chun said. Okay. Shen Jingxian nodded, but after 2 steps, she whispered without opening her mouth. Be careful at the banquet. Don't touch me. I'm just an attendant at the banquet. I'm probably busy to death. Xiao Chun didn't answer her question, but Shen Jingxian was relieved after hearing it. What she was most afraid of was that her relationship with Xiao Chun would be discovered. If that happened, she wouldn't know how to face Cheng Minjing. Secondly, she couldn't fall out with the Chen family now. Cheng Zhongfan, Xiao Hai, and the others walked in front. Xiao Chun and Shen Jingxian walked behind. Oh right, where's Uncle Shen? Xiao Chun was a little puzzled. There was no reason for Shen Zhenghao not to attend the Cheng family's banquet. Even if the Shen family was more powerful than the Cheng family, Shen Zhenghao was just a branch of the Shen family in Songning City. Otherwise, it would be impossible to have a marriage alliance with the Qin family. Right. Do you know the weird old man called Medicine Master Lu beside you? Shen Jingxian suddenly remembered, so she asked. Oh, I know him, but I'm not familiar with him. I went to a pharmacy to buy medicine, and he is the elder of the pharmacy owner. Xiao Chen said. Oh, my dad seems to want to be friends with him, so I chased after him. If I knew it, I would have asked you to introduce him. Shen Jingxian shrugged. Do you dare? Xiao Chen asked. That's true. Shen Jingxian shook her head. The two followed the directions on the road and came to the Chung family's banquet hall. As the head of the Songning family, the Chung family had a luxurious banquet hall comparable to a 5-star hotel in their home. There were many guest rooms, conference rooms, entertainment facilities, and so on. After entering the banquet hall, Xiao Chen found a place to sit down with Shen Jingxian. It didn't take long for Chen Jinping and Qiao Yuliang to arrive. The two walked quickly to Xiao Chen's side and sat down. Xiao Chen, you came quite early. Qiao Yuliang greeted Xiao Chen, but he felt disgusted as if he had eaten a fly. Logically, Xiao Chen should have died long ago, but he was still alive and well. Wasn't this disgusting? The most important thing was that the person behind him would definitely be unhappy when he saw that Xiao Chun was not dead. Qiao Yuliang felt a little uncomfortable when he thought of this. I came with Minjing, Xiao Chen said faintly. Aren't you early too? Haha, how can I be late for Minjing's birthday? Qiao Yuliang laughed and said, Right, I'm going to send flowers to Minjing in a while. What do you think, Xiao Chen? Sure. Xiao Chen nodded, but he didn't expect Qiao Yuliang to send flowers. Isn't that a conflict with Lu Jinming? You guys seem to be having a good chat. Before Qiao Yuliang could reply, a voice rang out, causing his expression to change slightly. The person who spoke was Cheng Mingxiang. Are you unhappy that you didn't block me at the door? Look at you. Your face looks like sh*t. Did you eat sh*t? Xiao Chen didn't say anything to him at the door, but he was unscrupulous here. He couldn't go against the Cheng family, but he didn't have any scruples against Cheng Mingxiang. Anyway, Cheng Mingxiang didn't dare to make a move at the banquet. He was the host. If he made a move against the guests at the banquet, the reputation of the Cheng family would plummet. Good, very good. Cheng Mingxiang's face became extremely gloomy, and his eyes were about to spit fire. Xiao Chen, aren't you a waiter? Okay, now, you go and help the waiters prepare the items for the banquet. Cheng Mingxiang thought. Who asked you to show off in front of me? I will tire you to death. If you want to stay here, you have to listen to my instructions. Otherwise, get lost at any time. Before Xiao Chen could speak, he heard another voice coming from behind Cheng Mingxiang. Xiao Chang, my cousin-in-law is my personal asset. Do you want to snatch him from me? Xiao Chang. Cheng Mingxiang's face immediately darkened. Who else would call him that except Jean Beibei? Also, she called Xiao Chen cousin-in-law? Didn't it mean that he was also his brother-in-law? However, Cheng Mingxiang dared not argue with Jean Beibei. He could only smile obsequiously and say, I was just joking with him. Jean Beibei nodded and said proudly, That's more like it. I don't think a cockroach like you has the courage to snatch him from me. Cheng Mingxiang coughed and said, How about this? There is still some time before the banquet begins. Why don't I show you the collection room of the Cheng family? The aristocratic families in Songning had begun to show off their antiques and treasures to the guests. The Cheng family was no exception. This procedure had been agreed upon in advance. Cheng Mingxiang would show the members of the aristocratic families the collection room of the Cheng family. It would be a good opportunity for them to witness the wealth of the Cheng family. The Cheng family was an ancient warrior family. They had a lot of antiques related to ancient warriors too. That was the difference between the Cheng family and other aristocratic families. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.